Hello, I'm Richard and welcome back to my channel over and over and over again, the Arsenal podcast. This is the live watch-along, Arsenal versus Chelsea in the Premier League, coming up the other side of this. Hello, good afternoon. I'm Richard. Welcome back to over and over again, the Arsenal podcast. This is the watch-along, Arsenal versus Chelsea this afternoon, of course, from the Premier League, our second game of the season. And we've got the team news in. If you haven't seen it, these are your team lineups for this game this afternoon. So for Arsenal, there's 3 changes from last week's defeat against Brentford. So it's Leno in goal. Cedric comes in at right back. Holding replaces Ben White at centre-back due to COVID. And Mari is also still in the side along with Tierney. The 2 midfield are the same, so Xhaka and Lokonga Sambi. Xhaka is captain again today. And then in the front 4, there's 1 change there. Smith Rowe is number 10 again. It looks like Pepe may be playing through the middle or possibly Martinelli. It's Saka is back in the starting lineup in place of Balogun. And I say Martinelli and Pepe as well. So that's Arsenal's starting 11. The bench isn't looking particularly strong. It's good to see Ramsdale, new signing, on the bench for this game alongside Chambers, Tavares, Kolasinac, God knows what he's still doing on the bench, Maitland-Niles, Elneny, Nelson, Balogun and Aubameyang, who's fit enough for the bench but no more. So it's not a particularly strong Arsenal bench, is it? And some would argue it's not a particularly strong starting 11 either, but we've got obviously Saka back, which is great news. Chelsea's side then, they've made 2 changes from last week as well. You've got Mendy in goal. Their back 3, Azpilicueta, Christensen and Rudiger. James comes in as their right wing back. They've got Jorginho and Kovacic again and Alonso, so that's the same as last week. They've got Mount and Havertz, and of course there are other changes up front. Lukaku makes his second debut for the club today following his £97 move from Milan, which was completed earlier this week. Their bench, Chelsea's, looks a good bench, doesn't it? They've got Kappa on as their goalkeeper, Zuma, Thiago Silva, Chalobah, of course, who scored that great goal last week. Chilwell, Kante's fit enough to be on the bench for Chelsea. Hudson-Odoi, Ziyech and Werner. So they are your lineups there. I don't know what to make of that, really. I've got to be honest. It's, I don't know. We don't seem to have an out-and-out centre forward, if you like, a striker. Martinelli, of course, has played there and can play there. The news was maybe that Pepe might be the one playing through the middle. I'm not sure. I think it may well be Martinelli. I think it might be Pepe on the right and Saka on the left. But we'll see once the game gets going. Of course, it's been a big week for Arsenal in the transfer market, hasn't it? I say Ramsdale, who's on the bench today, has joined, of course, from Sheffield United. And Martin Odegaard as well is joining on a permanent deal. Of course, he's not able to play today due to some visa issues, but he should be available for Wednesday night's Carabao Cup tie against West Brom. We'll see about that. I'm expecting Ramsdale will make his debut in that particular game. We've got Russ in the chat. How you doing, Russ? Good evening. Yep, good evening to you as well. Russ, hope you're doing well, mate. What are you thinking about this team lineup today? Do you think we've got any chance of winning this? I must admit, when I've seen the team lineups, I know there's not a lot we can do with the players we've got out, but it just shows how weak the squad is. We've spent the most money and we still can't put together a squad that looks on paper certainly that can compete with Chelsea. I put on Twitter earlier, all of Chelsea's bench would walk into our starting 11, and that just shows where we are in relation to them at this moment in time. It's quite a sad situation to be in, really. But football's 11 against 11 on the day, isn't it? And if we put in a performance, we've got some decent players. We've got some good young players, Smith Rowe, Saka, Martinelli, Pepe, all can score and create goals. Let's hope they turn up and have a decent game today. I think Chelsea, though, under Thomas Tuchel, I think they're going to... they'll know how to nullify us. You've got to keep our left side quiet. I think that's why Reece James has come in with his extra pace, maybe down that side of the pitch for Chelsea. Stop Tierney getting forward and getting crosses in. And I suppose you've got to really attack us down our right-hand side. Cedric at right back, not really played that much. Holding as well, the right-sided centre-back, probably our weak link there as well. So Lukaku is going to be rubbing his hands together, seeing that back four for Arsenal today, isn't he? You can see him having a lot of success. I think he's going to bully our defence. But you never know. this is a day when we have to stand up and be counted, isn't it? Russ says there it's the best team we can muster, but I don't think it'll be enough. That exactly is, and that's the problem, isn't it? You know, we have a few injuries, and inevitably teams are going to have injuries through the season, aren't they? It just goes to our squad depth. If you look at our bench today, our squad depth is pitiful. Let's be honest. You know, Kolasinac is on the bench, and he should have left the club a year and a half ago. You know, Reece Nelson shouldn't still be at the club. He should be out on loan. Maitland-Niles, if he's good enough he should be playing more games, certainly at right back, which is our problem position. Or he should be sent out on loan as well. Chambers isn't good enough. We know that. Tavares, we don't know enough about him yet. He's on the bench. One of our new guys, of course, Balogun, needs more minutes on the pitch, clearly, after last week. And, of course, a not 100% fit Aubameyang, who's never been that great for the last year or so, has he? So it's worrying times for Arsenal, actually. But let's hope today we can actually turn in a performance, because we're going to have to be at our best to get anything from this Chelsea side. They're extremely well organised under Tuchel, of course. They're European champions, won the Champions League last season, beat Manchester City in the final, of course. So it just goes to show what a great job he's done, Tuchel. It just goes to show that if you get the right coach, it doesn't really matter. You don't need to buy loads and loads of new players, do you? I mean, how many players have they brought in since Tuchel come in? It's only really Lukaku, isn't it? If you look through their squad, that's the only new player that they've got. And look at the difference it made. When we beat Chelsea at the Emirates last season in December, we were quite similar to them in the league. They were struggling a bit. They were in mid-table. We were just below. And with the same group of players, with a better coach has come in, and look at how he's transformed them. Won the Champions League, got in the top four, reached the FA Cup final, won the Super Cup, and now they start this season as probably one of the favourites to win the Premier League as well, don't they? So it just goes to show, doesn't it? You can spend as much money as you like on players, but if you haven't got the right coach to gel them all together as a team and get them to perform, it's a waste of money. Time's going to tell, isn't it, how good our transfer business has been. A lot of potentially good young players, but are they really here to improve the team right now? Doesn't really look like it, does it? Ben White's the only one who you could say can come into the first team and improve us straight away. He didn't have a great game last week and he's missing today, so that's a bit unfortunate, isn't it? But the other signings that we've got are all for the future, really, aren't they? I know Lokonga's been playing. He's playing again today. He had a good game last week, and he could well be a very good player, Lokonga. But you've got to say that he's only in the team at this moment because Thomas Partey's injured. So he's basically a backup for him, isn't he? Tavares is a backup for Kieran Tierney. So, these are sort of players that we've got. Ramsdale is the number 2 goalkeeper at the moment. He may well become the number 1 as the season progresses. We'll have to see. But these are the players that we've bought. Odegaard, of course, will probably come into the starting 11. He doesn't really improve us from last season because he was here last season on loan, wasn't he? So it's not a massive improvement in the starting 11, is it, compared to the team that's finished 8th the last 2 seasons. We've still got a lot of dead wood at the club we haven't managed to get rid of, which is maybe hampering the opportunity to improve the squad, because there's only so many players that we can have, especially when we haven't got European football this season. So on paper, for the future, it looks at a decent enough transfer window, even though we spent quite a lot of money without really improving the team, which is a bit worrying. But certainly for the here and now, it doesn't really look as though it's been a great transfer window at all, does it, for this particular season? For the future, maybe so. But for now, I just believe that if the club were really serious about making us competitive again, we would have brought in at least one experienced player to improve the team. And we haven't really done that. We've lost a leader in David Luiz. And although we've brought in Ben White, who potentially is going to be a better player, he's not that experienced player, is he? The same experience as David Luiz. So I think although potentially he could be better in the future, at the moment it's almost weakened us, certainly from a leadership point of view and experience point of view. And that's our problem in this team. You could see last week how much we lack leaders. We were getting bullied by Brentford, and we had nobody on that pitch, to gel us together and to give us that will to fight back. And we didn't have that. You could quite see. Russ says there, I see the protest went well, almost full house. Yeah, apparently the protest was a bit of a damp squid, actually. And to be honest with you, I don't. It's strange, isn't it? Because we have spent the most money. The owners have invested in the team. They've backed the manager, maybe not in the way that we would want to, because I think we needed a few more experienced players, maybe top level players rather than second level players, if you like, which is what we've brought in, young players for the future. So yeah, I don't know. They're not going to sell up, are they, at the moment anyway, regardless, I think so. But yeah, I mean, people are in the stadium, they're coming to watch the game, spending money, and that's that really. So yeah, what can you say? I mean, I've got a new shirt on. It was bought for me, I would add, but even so, you know, that's what's happening, and we're not going to get rid of the owners, I don't think. And unfortunately, for me, the biggest issue at the moment is what's going on the pitch, and what's going on the pitch is poor performances, a weak squad that's got too many gaps. And a coach I don't feel is really up to the job. But anyway, that is for another time maybe. Let's try and enjoy this game if we can. I think it's going to be a really tough 90 minutes for us. Chelsea do look, that their side looks strong, well organised, well coached, and they know how to win, don't they? And I don't really think our team do they? Unfortunately, at the moment, with the squad that we've got. Real lack of experience. But anyway, let's hope that we can produce one of these kind of cup performances that, we've done against Chelsea before in finals, as we know, the two finals in recent years where we've got the upper hand. The first one in 2017, we had Alexis Sanchez in our team then, didn't we? So we always had a chance. The 2020 final, we had a firing Aubameyang as well, didn't we? Who scored them 2 great goals. So and again, today we don't have that either. So I don't know where that sort of performance is going to come from, if I'm honest, with this team. But you never know. We got a good win against them last season. Of course, that was under Lampard for Chelsea. And let's hope we can produce a performance like that today. And you never know. 90 minutes, anything can happen. But I think we're going to have to play well above ourselves to get anything from this game. And I think it's going to be a very long and difficult 90 minutes or a couple of hours for us tonight. So the teams are just coming out now. Chelsea are coming out on the pitch now in their blue kit. Lukaku is at the back, coming out there for his second debut. Of course, his first spell at Chelsea wasn't that great for him, was it? He didn't really do very much there. And now Arsenal are coming out to a decent reception as well, actually, from virtually a full house, as Russ says there. Being led out by a captain today again, Granit Xhaka. I've got no problem with that. I know a lot of people have. The big news, of course, Bukayo Saka in the starting lineup for the first time since the Euros, of course. A great reception he's been getting, hasn't he, when he's come on as a sub in recent weeks, even at Tottenham and Brentford. So great to see him back in the starting lineup. Expecting a big performance from him, actually, today. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'll say it's going to be a tough game, but let's hope the crowd makes a difference. I think we only lost one game in the Premier League at home under Mikel Arteta with a full stadium before the lockdown 18 months ago, and that was actually against Chelsea, wasn't it, in his first game? And I don't believe we lost another Premier League game at home until the empty stadiums later on. So maybe that's going to give us the lift that we need. Let's see. I mean, I don't know how it's going to work. Could go the other way, couldn't it? If we don't start the game particularly well, we go a goal behind, the crowd could easily turn, and that's a worry as well, isn't it? But let's hope the crowd can lift the players today, because they're going to need lifting, aren't they? If we're going to get anything from this game, we are going to need a boost from somewhere. Let's hope that we can find it. The Chelsea lineup's just been announced on the screen. Very strong side, isn't it, for Chelsea? Really strong side. And we mentioned it on our Tuesday show earlier in the week that we believe this Chelsea team could be one of the favourites to win the Premier League. They've certainly got the strength in depth, haven't they, in the squad? And the addition of Lukaku, a goal scorer, was the one thing that they were maybe lacking. For all Timo Werner's hard work, he doesn't score enough goals. He hasn't been, had he? So they've kind of rectified that issue in their team. They rectified the goalkeeping issue before, of course, with the signing of Mendy. And yeah, I don't know. I'm worried about this game, I must be honest, but you never know. Andrew's in the chat from Dial Square to Where, mate. Good to see you. Make sure you check out Andrew's channel as well. I say From Dial Square to Where. He's back for the new season as well. Had a good show the other night, so please go over there and check out that channel if you haven't done so already. And obviously, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so as well, and give this a like as well. We're just about to kick off actually at the Emirates in the sunshine at the moment. It was raining earlier, but it's now some sunshine at the stadium. It is nice to see a full stadium, actually, or almost a full stadium with a crowd in, an atmosphere in the Emirates. It's been a long time, and let's hope that some positivity rubs off on the players, because at the moment, I'm not too confident we can do anything in this game. But you never know. The good thing is the expectations are low, aren't they? So anything other than a poor performance and defeat is going to be a bonus for me today, and I suppose that's a good thing, isn't it? Maybe, but we are about to kick off now at the Emirates. It's going to be Arsenal at the kick-off, actually. Smith Rowe and Xhaka actually are taking the kick, just taking the knee, the players, which gets an applause from the crowd as well. And we are going to start Arsenal attacking the goal to our right in the first half, the clock end, if you are familiar with the Emirates. So that's the end where the Chelsea fans are, in that corner. And the ball is headed straight back to Mendy from the kickoff. So Chelsea are going to gain possession. So Chelsea in all blue kit, Arsenal, of course, in the new home kit, which is a little bit like Ajax, isn't it? Let's hope we can maybe play football like Ajax have done over the years. Lokonga now has got the ball in midfield, finds Cedric on this near side, Arsenal's right, and then Rob Holding goes all the way back to Bernd Leno in goal. Be interesting to see, wouldn't it, how long Bernd Leno can keep off the challenge of Ramsdale. I think Ramsdale's been bought as his replacement, or to replace him as number one, certainly, which then is going to leave us with a problem of having a backup goalkeeper again, because I'm sure Leno won't stay at Arsenal as number two, will he? So, but anyway, you know, Ramsdale looks like he's got potential to be a good goalkeeper. But at the moment, it's Leno's shirt to lose, isn't it? So let's see how he gets on. Lokonga there with a nice turn in midfield. He's looking a good player for us, isn't he? He did find Bukayo Saka. There's a ball over the top from Smith Rowe, looking for Saka again on the edge of the penalty area. Shot comes in. Oh, it's a save from Mendy. The first shot from Arsenal. It's Smith Rowe from the edge of the box. Good effort, actually. It was good play from Arsenal there. Smith Rowe was heavily involved earlier on. A nice ball over the top towards Bukayo Saka. He held the ball up well, actually. And then Smith Rowe came in with a shot. And it was a good save from Mendy. It was quite close to him. We'd expect him to save that, to be fair. But it's been a bright start from Arsenal. Let's hope we can continue this. Xhaka does well there in the midfield to cut the ball out. But Chelsea have picked it up over on that far side. And Chelsea haven't really had got into our half yet, actually. We've played, nearly 2 minutes, and Chelsea slowing the play down there with Rudiger. And then Christensen. And it's Azpilicueta in the back three in place of Chalobah this week. Of course, Chalobah got that great goal, didn't he, for Chelsea last week against Crystal Palace. They started the season with a really good victory, 3-0 against Patrick Vieira in his first game. Of course, he did pick up his first point yesterday against, of course, a team that beat us. But anyway, Chelsea are now coming forward down this near side. Alonso plays it back into the box. A shot comes in. It was blocked there. It was Reece James actually got forward. His shots hit Xhaka in the face or on the back of the head, and Xhaka's gone down. So the game's going to be held up. That was Chelsea's first attack there. It was Alonso there, played the ball back to Reece James. It was very central, actually. He got a shot away. I think it was going wide anyway, but it hit Xhaka on the side of the head. He put himself on the line there, which is great. You want to see from your captain, don't you? And he's now just on the floor getting a little bit of treatment for that. He's not concussed or anything, so he shouldn't have to go off. But it did look quite painful because he was quite close to the shot from Reece James. He did actually get hold of it. It looked like it was probably going to go wide, but it was good block from Xhaka. Let's hope he's okay to continue. I'm sure he will be. Picture of Aubameyang on the bench, not looking particularly happy with life. Not surprising there. He's sitting next to Kolasinac, actually, which is interesting. But anyway, no doubt we will talk about a few of these issues on the Tuesday show this week as well, and see what we're doing there. Russ in the chat there says ESR straight at the keeper, at least that's one on target. Yeah, it wasn't a bad effort, a bit too close to the keeper. You could do well to score from there. And Andrew there says well done by Xhaka. Yeah, no, it was good play from Xhaka. Put himself on the line, didn't he, which is what you want your captain to do. You want all the players to do, really, don't you? So yeah, Xhaka's now, he's back on his feet again. He's just being led over to this near side. The protocol, of course, he's going to have to go off before he can come back on again, but he looks like he's fine. So we are briefly playing with 10 men at the moment while we're just waiting for Xhaka to return and he's back on again now, Granit Xhaka, which is good news. But Chelsea are in possession inside the centre circle with Christensen. He finds Azpilicueta and then goes out to the far side to Reece James. He's going to be a danger down that side, isn't he, Reece James? He gets forward well. So it was him actually that just had that shot which struck Xhaka on the side of the head. Rudiger now, Chelsea playing just in front of all our players basically behind the ball, and now Chelsea looking to come forward themselves with Kovacic and then Jorginho, and it's now with Azpilicueta again, played back into Jorginho. That's a good ball into Lukaku, his first real opportunity, plays the ball square to Havertz, and his ball is deflected out for a throw to Chelsea. But Chelsea there are starting to look a little bit more dangerous. There's a good spell of possession that they had. Alonso taking this throw in line with the penalty area in the attacking third for Chelsea, but Arsenal won the ball back well there. This is great play from Smith Rowe, and then he's fouled. That was really good play from Smith Rowe. Won the ball back, drove at the Chelsea defence there before he was brought down by Alonso, and it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal about halfway on this near touchline, Arsenal's right, which Cedric is going to take and goes back to Rob Holding. And then he switches it over to the left-hand side now to Saka. Tried to play the ball through towards Tierney, but it wasn't hit with enough power, and Chelsea are able to clear that up. And now they can try and come forward themselves. But that's a good header from Xhaka, I think that was. And now it is Tierney over on that far touchline. Plays it back to Xhaka, who's held up. He does well, actually, against Mason Mount. And does he win a free kick? Actually, the free kick's gone to Chelsea. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe a handball. Xhaka did fall on the ball. He felt he was fouled. Referees Paul Tierney. So maybe we might get some joy from him, obviously, being Kieran Tierney's dad. I'm sure he'll give us a few decisions, but he didn't give us that one. And Chelsea now have the ball with Mendy just outside the Chelsea penalty area. Plays it short to Rudiger, gets it back. There's Mendy. He's put under pressure from Martinelli, but he's able to play the ball out to Azpilicueta. And now Chelsea can build an attack, if possible, with Reece James. Plays it up the line. It's a nice touch, actually. This is good. Kovacic with a back heel. Chelsea now looking dangerous, but I think it was Rob Holding. Granit Xhaka was it there, steps in midfield. That was Rob Holding, actually. It's gone out for a throw to Chelsea. But Chelsea are starting to settle down in this game now. They're maybe having more possession and knocking the ball around. They're not really threatened yet. It was just that one shot from Reece James, of course, which hit Xhaka. But now they've got a little bit of space down Arsenal's left-hand side. Kieran Tierney comes across. It's a ball played into the box. It's missed by the Arsenal defence. I think it was Mari. Was it Havertz at the far side coming in, but he couldn't get a firm touch on it, and Arsenal do manage to scramble the ball away. But it wasn't very convincing defending at all from Arsenal there. That was a good attack from Chelsea down that far side. I think it was Reece James put a cross in, and it was missed by Mari, but Havertz couldn't get on the end of it. And Arsenal did manage to scramble it away, but hardly convincing stuff there from Arsenal at all. Now, Alonso again for Chelsea down this near side. They're certainly penning us back at this moment, knocking the ball around confidently. Jorginho then with a ball over the top, looking for Lukaku, but it's overhit, and it will be a goal kick to Arsenal. So, yeah, that was maybe the first real threat there from Chelsea. Came from that right-hand side. We thought that would be where they'd be dangerous going forward. Reece James, it was, put a ball in, and it wasn't really dealt with at all by the Arsenal defence. I'm sure it was Mari that missed it. We haven't seen a replay yet. But anyway, we managed to survive. It is a goal kick, which Leno is now going to take. And instead of playing it out from the back, we are going to go long, which is good to see. Let's hope this is going to be a new tactic, actually, because all this playing out from the back has not really been working, has it? Chelsea win that ball there. Now Saka can have a run, can he, at the Chelsea defence. He tried to thread it through to Martinelli. Instead, it comes out to Tierney on the far side. Plays it back to Saka. Those two are going to be dangerous down the left, aren't they? Tierney again into the penalty area. Plays it across the box. Nobody's there, and Alonso can clear it for Chelsea. And as Russ says there, absolutely spot on. No one in the box as usual. Yeah, we can get as many crosses in as we like, as indeed we did last week. Nobody's in there. We're not going to score goals, are we? So, anyway, we're coming forward again. This time down the right-hand side, it's Cedric plays it up to Pepe. He's not really been involved in this game yet, Pepe, but he was there. Played it back to Cedric. Now it's in for Lokonga. That's a good ball over the top. That's a decent pass actually to Tierney. Again, he puts a cross into the box. Again, nobody's there. But Alonso's forced to clear it for the first corner of the game. It's going to be to Arsenal. Great ball that was from Lokonga, from right to left. Really good ball that found Tierney's run. A good touch from Tierney. A good first time cross, but nobody in the box to attack the cross. Only really Martinelli, and he couldn't get on the end of it. But Alonso's put it out for a corner. So this is our first corner of the game, first opportunity to maybe put the Chelsea defence under real pressure now from this set piece. Of course, our new set piece coach. Let's see what work he's done. It's going to be Pepe on this near side, curled this in with his left foot. Let's see if it's a good delivery. We did score, of course, against Chelsea from a corner in that pre-season friendly. This goes long to the far post. It's headed back into the 6-yard box, but was it Lokonga that put that header in? But it has gone straight into the arms of Mendy anyway, and no threat at all for Arsenal. In fact, it was Lokonga. He peeled. No, it wasn't Lokonga. It was Smith Rowe actually with the header back in. Wasn't a great header at all. It went straight into the arms of Mendy. Russ says there, all this money spent, and I don't think we've improved. We haven't improved at all. Haven't about much. We just haven't improved our first team at all, have we? It's all young players that have got potential to maybe be good in a year or two's time, not for the here and now. And that's the problem that we've got. We've had to spend 130 million, near enough, just to, to put gaps in the squad that needed filling with young players, which is great. But for us to actually compete with our first 11, to be able to compete with Chelsea over a season, or with these other teams that we're supposed to be competing for to get in the top 4, Man United, etc., we'd need to spend another 130 million improving the first 11, or maybe more than that. And we can't do it all because we don't have the money. But this is a good run here from Pepe down this right-hand side. He's got past 2 or 3 Chelsea players. Now, what's the delivery going to be like? He's drifted inside, finds Lokonga again. Lokonga's had a good start to this game. As Sakari finds over on that far side. The momentum of that attack's maybe dropped down now, but a really good run from Pepe. Now we've got an opportunity to get a crossing with Saka. It's a low cross into the near post, but it's cleared away by Christensen. It's going to be a throw to Arsenal. That was really good play that from Pepe, actually. A really good run. He'd been quiet up until then, but he got past 2 or 3 Chelsea players down this near side. But he didn't really have a lot of options. He was forced back inside, and then the momentum of the attack disappeared. Now here's Cedric, plays it back to Pepe. Inside, he goes back to Rob Holding, and then Pepe gets it back on this near side by the touchline. Drifting inside again, of course, on that left foot of his. Lokonga, he's had a good start to this game. Cedric plays a ball over the top, but it's an aimless ball. It's in the direction of Martinelli, but he was never going to get it, and it's just rolled through into the arms of Mendy. So 12 minutes played. It is still Arsenal 0, Chelsea 0. Actually, I just realised I haven't got the score on the screen, have I? That was a bit of a mistake, wasn't it? So I need to rectify that for you all, so at least you can keep an eye on the score. And that will be that. So let's put that on for you. Here we go. So we can see the score. And it is still 0-0, of course. So 12 minutes played. Chelsea have had 60% possession compared to 40% for Chelsea, which I'm not quite sure if that's how I would have seen it so far. But anyway, Chelsea now are in possession again, with Kovacic plays it to Azpilicueta. He plays it forward into Mason Mount. Nice turn, looks for Lukaku, gets it back. But it was good play there from Xhaka, who wins that ball in midfield. Pepe there was robbed, and he's given away a free kick. It was Alonso that stepped in. And it's going to be a free kick to Chelsea inside the centre circle. It is a free kick now to Chelsea, which they've taken quickly. They want to get on with the game. Kovacic there plays it out to Azpilicueta, and now Reece James on that far touchline. That's into Jorginho. But it was good play there from Xhaka again. Xhaka's actually had a decent start to this game. Smith Rowe looking again to burst forward, but he headed the ball in front of him. It was too far in front of him, and Chelsea were able to gain possession again. And now they're looking to build an attack of their own. Still inside their own half. It goes to Azpilicueta, plays it into the middle to Mason Mount. Good turn from him. Finds Reece James down that far side. But Kieran Tierney cuts that out. And it's going to be a throw to Chelsea. It does look as though there's quite a few empty seats actually in the stadium. There was tickets for sale before the game, apparently. So not a sellout crowd. Maybe the Arsenal fans aren't quite as excited about this season as maybe the owners and would like us to believe. Right, that's the ball over the top. There's space here for Reece James. He's into the penalty area, and Lukaku scored for Chelsea. 14 minutes played. Didn't take him long, did it, on his debut to get a goal? Arsenal's defence was all over the place. It was a ball played out to the far side to Reece James. He had all the time in the world. He just drilled the ball across the 6-yard box, and there was Lukaku with a simple tap-in to make it 1-0 to Chelsea. As Russ says there, that's so easy. It was so easy. It was a ball played in initially to Lukaku. He laid it off. It was Kovacic with the ball. Cedric was playing Reece James onside. Poor defending. Ball played across the 6-yard box. Lukaku from 2 yards could not miss. Terrible defending from Arsenal. Cedric was far too deep. Lukaku bullied his way into the penalty area. Pushed Rob Holding out of the way. Actually, it was Mari pushed out of the way. Got in front of Holding and tapped in. So it's taken him less than 15 minutes of his second debut to open his account for Chelsea, give them the lead. And you've got to say, it's a long way back for Arsenal. It might only be 1-0, but it's looking like it's going to be a very, very difficult afternoon for Arsenal now. Really poor defending that was. Cedric was far too deep there. Played Reece James onside, and from that point on, we're always struggling. And it is 1-0 to Chelsea. We've got Orff in the chat there. Arteta with a clown face, and he says, keep Arteta to relegation fight. So sad. Only real Arsenal lover feel it. Yeah, I mean, we have got a lot of players missing, but I just think that that's an easy excuse to make. You know, we spent a lot of money and we haven't improved the squad, have we? And tactically, we haven't improved. You know, the way we defend as a team, you know, what are they working on in training? That was a terrible goal to give away. It was almost a training goal. And a bit like last week, we concede a goal and then we look all over the place. We need to settle down in this game. Still early days, of course, and, you know, lots can happen between now and the end of the game. 75 minutes still to play, but even so, you've got to worry about where this game's going to go for us now. As Russ says there, Kroenke doesn't train the players or do the tactics. This is on the manager. Awful defending. Exactly. I don't care who the owners are particularly. You know, what I care about is what happens on the pitch. And this manager is proving week in, week out that he's not good enough for Arsenal. He's not. And Orff says there, Niles and Ober, they look angry at Arteta. Respect to you. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be very happy at the moment. But anyway, I say it's still early in the game. Let's hope we can find something from somewhere. But I totally agree with Russ. You know, we can get the owners out and get new owners in. But while we've still got this manager, I can't see us progressing at all. And you could just see there by that goal. Terrible. How long's he been at the club now? 18 months? And he hasn't managed to improve the basics. You know, and that's basic defending, isn't it? Simple stuff. Very similar to the goals we conceded last week as well. Goals we conceded last season. Chelsea coming forward again down this right-hand side. Reece James, that cross is blocked this time by Kieran Tierney, but Reece James has still got the ball. We said before he was going to be the threat down this right-hand side, and that's exactly proved to be the case. He's got the ball again. Is he going to be able to get a cross in this time? Oh, that's a nice play from Chelsea again. Reece James puts a cross in, but that's too close to Leno, who's managed to grab it. But yeah, that was basic defending that we wasn't able to do. Again, so easy for Chelsea, as Russ again said. It was really, really easy. And it's just not acceptable. Saka now on this far side for Arsenal, looking for a response. Smith Rowe, just goes to show, doesn't it? We've got these young players who we're relying on now to give us a lift and try to get us back in this game. Smith Rowe and Saka, of course, had such good games in this fixture last season. That 3-1 victory that really turned our season around, didn't it? We need both of those two now. We shouldn't be relying on them. There's a long ball there from Xhaka, which has gone straight out for a goal kick. Down by the corner flag. This is not going to be pretty to watch the rest of this game. So stay with me. I will try to keep you entertained a little bit more maybe than the game is, because I've got a feeling we're going to be in for a long afternoon. But this was terrible defending all round. Mari got sucked in. He then didn't keep with Lukaku. He was too easily bullied out of the way. Cedric had played Reece James onside. Mari then fell down for no reason whatsoever. Just schoolboy defending. Lukaku couldn't believe his luck. He hasn't had a great record against Arsenal, actually, previously. I did mention it in my preview videos. He'd only scored 3 times in his whole career, I think in 16, 17 appearances before. They were all for Everton, and 2 of them had come at the Emirates. He's now got another one at the Emirates, so he maybe likes playing here. But he couldn't miss that, could he? It was so easy. I mean, Mari don't know what he's doing there. He got sucked in. He's been terrible, actually, since the start of this season. And in pre-season as well. Chelsea have now got a corner on that far side. If Chelsea get another goal, now this could be curtains for Arsenal. Leno comes and punches, but only to the edge of the penalty area to Jorginho. Comes back out to Mason Mount. Cross comes in from that far side. There's space here for Reece James, this time on the left-hand side for Chelsea. Plays it back to Kovacic. Reece James gets it back. The cross comes in, it's slightly deflected. Lukaku's underneath it with a header. Goes over the top. And Arsenal get away with that one. Again, poor defending. We couldn't get the ball out. Reece James it was again. This time it popped up on the left-hand side, put the cross in. I think the cross maybe took a deflection and maybe made Lukaku's job a little bit more difficult. But he headed it over the top. Now we try and play it out from the back this time. Leno to Cedric on this near side. Plays the ball up the line towards Pepe. Actually, Pepe does well in the middle of the pitch. That's a good ball to Saka over on the far side. Now, Saka's got a defender in front of him. Aspilicueta, can he get past him and get a shot in? Overruns it a little bit, and it's Aspilicueta who managed to win the tackle, but it's fell to Kieran Tierney. Plays it inside to Xhaka. Tierney gets it back. Now, what's the cross like? Deflected off a Chelsea head. Reece James it was, and Chelsea can clear it away. That was slightly better from Arsenal, though. It was a good ball out to Saka on that far side. He had a one-on-one. Nicolas Pepe initially did really, really well, actually, and then played that ball to Saka. Just had to face Aspilicueta up. He looked like he'd maybe done enough to go past him and get a shot in, but the ball just got a little bit away from him. Maybe Saka's still lacking a little bit of sharpness, of course. He's not played much, has he, since the Euros. He's had a couple of substitute appearances, and maybe that just showed there the way the ball just ran away from him slightly, and that was all Aspilicueta needed to take the ball off him. And that was another attack that's come to nothing for Arsenal. I'll say another attack. I mean, we've played we're halfway through this first half nearly, and Mendy just had that one save to make very early with that shot from distance from Smith Rowe, which was straight at him. And he's had nothing else really to do, the Chelsea goalkeeper. And to be fair, Leno's not had a lot to do either, but Chelsea are clearly in control of this game. Obviously boosted by that goal as well, but we've not really looked like we're able to get back into it. But it's early days and you never know, but we don't even have many options on the bench to be that gives you things that we can bring people on later on. Chelsea, again, there's a lot of space again for Reece James on that right-hand side. He's into the penalty area, pulls it back. It's a shot comes in from Havertz this time. Oh, no, was it Mason Mount, actually? They look quite similar, them two. It's got deflected behind. Again, wide open we are down that left-hand side, which, funny enough, we thought was our strongest part of the pitch with Tierney and Saka. But, again, loads of space there for Reece James. He cut inside Tierney. Instead of having a shot, he pulled it back to Mason Mount, and Mason Mount's shot has hit Pablo Mari and gone out for a corner on the far side to Chelsea. But, again, that was a dangerous attack. Every time they go forward, you worry that we're going to concede a goal. Anyway, the corner's taken short. Chelsea now looking to build an attack again. This is Christensen. Plays it square to Kovacic. Dinks the ball towards the far side. I think it's going to go too far. It's gone out for a goal kick. It just overhit that cross there, looking for the run of Alonso on the far side. But it's a goal kick to Arsenal. But every time Chelsea get the ball, they come forward. They're moving it quickly. They're pulling our defence all over the place, and they look as though they might score. And we're kind of hanging on a little bit at times, some desperate defending, as indeed it was there. Pablo Mari got the block in, Mason Mount shot, which looked as though it was on target. It would have given Leno a problem maybe, but it got deflected behind for a corner. But we have got a goal kick now. 24 minutes played in this game. at the Emirates. Arsenal 0, Chelsea 1. Lukaku inevitably with the goal, as we thought he might well do. But that goal was all about poor defending from Arsenal than anything else. Good movement from Lukaku, good strength as well to hold off Mari as he ran into the box, but poor defending. And you can't allow a striker with Lukaku's goal scoring record an opportunity like that, because he's never going to miss an open goal from about 4 yards. So really, really poor from Arsenal. And I say we've got it all to do now. Really, really difficult to get back in this game against a very well organised, strong Chelsea side, as we know. Anyway, we have got a throw in on this near side, which Cedric is going to take about 15 yards in from the halfway line, just inside Arsenal's half. And he throws that line towards Pepe, whose touch wasn't particularly good. And it's now a throw to Chelsea. And that kind of sums up how things have gone in these first 25 minutes for Arsenal. Russ says, any manager of pedigree would be able to set this team up not to lose and get more out of them. No, I totally agree. I mean, like I said before, Frank Lampard was in charge of this Chelsea team. What new players have they got? Lukaku, and this is his first game today. Other than that, it's the same team that Lampard couldn't get consistent results out of them. And look what difference it's made having as you said, a manager with pedigree coming in. Tuchel clearly knows what he's doing. He can organise a team, and look what's happened. It kind of says it all, really. You know, we've invested maybe in 129 million pounds on players that maybe we might have been better off investing that in a proper manager, and worrying about the players in the future. Just getting a manager who can come in and get more out of this team. Yes, we've got gaps and gaps in the squad, haven't we? It's clearly, you can see now we've got some injuries, and you can see how weak we look. But it's not just that, is it? It's just the setup of the team. It's almost like the players don't really believe in the system. They don't seem to know what they're doing half the time. Now Tierney's coming forward though for Arsenal. This is a bit better. Can always rely on Tierney, but that ball wasn't too great. It got deflected, and Alonso's managed to tidy up. Kevin's in the chat. How you doing, Kevin? Long time no speak, mate. I hope you're doing well. He says, "Good afternoon, Richard and fellow Gunners." Yeah, I hope you're well, Kev. Good to see you again. I know it's not the greatest game, is it, to be suffering? But anyway, let's hope that somehow we can find some miracle. But Chelsea coming forward again. Lukaku just inside the penalty, looking to turn onto that left foot. Mari does better that time, blocks a shot. But again, the ball into Lukaku is far too easy on the edge of the box there. You know what he's going to do when he gets in that position. He's going to try and turn the defender, which he tried to do, and get a shot away with his left foot. Mari does better that time, actually, manages to block it. But a cross comes in again, looking for Lukaku, but Mari steps in front and manages to clear that away. It's a bit better for Mari there. He was far too weak for the goal, but he's done better there than last two occasions. He did block an earlier shot as well, so maybe Mari's settling down a little bit. But again, a ball into Lukaku's feet. He plays it to Kai Havertz, who plays it out to this far side again to Reece James, but that's overhit, and it's gone out for a throw. Well, that seems to be Chelsea's get-out ball at the moment, isn't it? Play it out to that far side to Reece James, or a ball into Lukaku to hold the ball up, which he's doing really well. It's amazing what a proper centre-forward can transform the way you play, doesn't it? But we have got a throw on this near side. Kieran Tierney is about to take it. Smith Rowe is asking for the ball. Tierney goes up the line, goes a bit further than Smith Rowe, but doesn't reach him. And Chelsea again can knock the ball into our half. This is Rob Holding, plays a long ball over the top. That could be an interesting ball for Pepe to chase. Is he going to get there before Rudiger? No, he's not. But it's going to be a throw to Arsenal. At least we're trying to stretch the Chelsea defence there with a ball over the top. Kevin says, we're playing the European champions, so let's get something out of this game. It would be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, it would be a real statement, wouldn't it? If we, especially if going a goal down early on, if we could come back and get something from this game, it would be a message out, wouldn't it? That maybe, despite having a depleted squad, we can compete with the best teams. There's a chance here. The ball's gone to Saka on the edge of the box. Xhaka falls backwards, finds Lokonga. Is he going to have a shot? Lokonga does have a shot, but it goes high and wide. But that was a little bit better from Arsenal, pressing on the edge of the box there. Saka initially there found Zachary. He played the ball across to Lokonga, got a good touch out of his feet, but he couldn't get a shot on target. Didn't trouble Mendy at all, but it was a little bit better. That was a shot actually very reminiscent of many that Thomas Partey hit last season. ended up in the clock end. Russ says there, Chelsea needed a centre forward. They didn't mess about and got Lukaku. Exactly. Other teams have done the same. Man United needed a defender. They went out and got Varane. Man City didn't necessarily need anyone, but they went out and got Grealish, and they've improved their team, and we haven't. And it is quite frustrating. Anyway, Chelsea coming forward again. We need to worry about this. Alonso on this near side. Again, it's Lukaku. Tries a shot. It's deflected. Falls to Jorginho there, but Arsenal do manage to get that way. Lokonga again. He's looked impressive, Lokonga, actually. He could turn out to be our best signing of this window, in actual fact. He's always wanting to get the ball forward. He's looking forward. He's looking to drive. He's got athleticism. And maybe when Thomas Partey's in the team alongside him, we may see improvements, but I'm not convinced that it's the players always that are the problem that we've got. Also, not the biggest problem. They're one of the problems, some of them. But anyway, Alonso now on his near side for Chelsea, keeping possession, keeping us at arm's length. And it's gone all the way back to goalkeeper Mendy, who plays it out to Aspilicueta and then to Christensen, who's the centre of their three central defenders there. Plays it in to Havertz, and now it's all the way back again to Mendy. Chelsea just keeping possession, and Mendy plays it out to Rudiger on his near side. He's playing on the left of the three there for Chelsea, but he's given that away to Pepe, but Pepe couldn't get it under control. And again, Chelsea coming forward. Again, Reece James has got space over on that right-hand side. He gets the ball into the box again, looking for Lukaku. That one's just behind him. And I think the flag's gone up, is it? No, we're still playing on. Mason Mount now on this near side. Cuts back. Can he get across in? Instead, it's a shot. Lacks any power and goes straight through to Leno. And Russ says there, reiterating what I said a bit earlier, every time Chelsea go forward, it looks like they're going to score. It certainly looks like they're going to have an opportunity to score. Leno wearing the away kit actually in goal, which is quite strange. But anyway, the yellow away kit. But we can't afford a goalkeeper's kit, obviously. So he just has to wear one of the spare kits. But like a Sunday league, isn't it? When your goalkeeper, you haven't got a goalkeeper top, so he wears his own T-shirt to play, doesn't he? That's what it looks like for Arsenal, really, when he's wearing the away kit rather than a specialist goalkeeper top. Anyway, I don't know why, because I've seen us with a green one, actually. I don't know why he's not wearing that. But anyway, Chelsea are playing in blue. Actually, see what colour the referee's got on, maybe. That might be the reason. Can't see the referee at the moment. He's out of shot. He's wearing black, the referee, so no excuse why Leno couldn't have worn the green goalkeeper's kit, which I have seen has got. But anyway, that's just a slightly different issue that isn't maybe that important in the overall scheme of things. Chelsea now in possession again, as they have been for much of this first half. Rudiger now on this near side plays it forward to Havertz, very deep actually. But Chelsea quite comfortable in possession inside their own half. We're not really pressing them very high. Lukaku then couldn't get that ball under control. Lokonga picked it up, played it back to Rob Holding. Now it's with Cedric, back to Rob Holding. I can see this going back to Leno in a minute. No, Rob Holding plays a forward pass, and it's a good pass as well to Smith Rowe on the half turn. Finds Pepe on this near side, and then Smith Rowe again. Now Cedric. Can he deliver a ball? There's not many in the box, just two, Martinelli and Saka. Cedric again exchanging passes with Smith Rowe. Now Smith Rowe pulls the ball, tries to pull the ball back towards Pepe, but he has actually picked it up. It got deflected. Pepe's now got the ball just on the edge of the penalty area. Plays it square to Xhaka, now to Tierney over on that far side. Can Tierney get a cross in? A few more bodies in the box now to aim at. Lokonga. Oh, sorry, it's Saka, isn't it? Saka there over on that far side. Cuts back inside. Now it's Lokonga. Lets the ball run across his body. Tries to play it back into Saka, but it was cleared away by Christensen. And now Chelsea can build an attack of their own. Lukaku. And that was Mari through the back of him. And it's going to be a yellow card for the Arsenal defender. And Russ says there, Leno is wearing the away kit, isn't he? Yeah, he certainly looks like he is. I don't know why he couldn't wear that green goalkeeper's kit, I'll say, but anyway. It's a free kick there. Mari went straight through the back of Lukaku. Inside the Chelsea half. I don't know really why he bothered wasting a yellow card there. Now he's on a yellow card against Lukaku for an hour of this game, or just under an hour left to play with a yellow card. So that's going to be very difficult time for him now, isn't it? He's going to have to be a bit more careful in his challenges in future on the Chelsea man. Now Chelsea going forward again. It's Alonso. Plays the ball back into Lukaku again. It's falling here. There's another chance. It's Reece James on the far side. Reece James has scored. It's 2-0. That's it. Game over, surely. Reece James has been the biggest threat for Chelsea in this first half. He's just celebrated a goal and somebody's thrown a bottle of water at him. Not particularly classy, that from the Arsenal fans behind that goal in the North Bank. I'm sure Reece James won't be too bothered about that. He celebrates a goal. Again, we were caught out down that same side where we have been all game. Started off on the near side, actually. Alonso did well. Played the ball in to... it was actually a good play down this near side with Mason Mount, or Guy Havertz, sorry, played it into Lukaku. It was then Mount who played the ball to Reece James. So much space, picked his spot, and he didn't disappoint, did he? Really good finish there, across the goalkeeper into the far corner. We've played 34 minutes, it's 2-0, and this could become embarrassing. To be fair to Reece James, he was celebrating in front of the Arsenal fans with his Chelsea badge, and maybe, not that you can condone people throwing bottles at him, but anyway, it is 2-0, and I think now it's just a matter of trying not to be too embarrassed. Arteta looked clueless on the side, not for the first time, and certainly won't be the last time either. I wouldn't have thought. Russ says, yeah, pack up and go home now. Well, it certainly seems that way, doesn't it? Russ says, I'm not even upset anymore. I've lost all interest. It's difficult, isn't it? It is a difficult situation, and this is not really very pleasant to see at all. Anyway, Kevin says the fans will be leaving soon. You can feel the tension in the ground. But who can come into Arsenal and change them? Well, it's an interesting question, isn't it? I mean, who can Arsenal afford now? We spent all this money on players which are not improving the team now. Have we got enough money to sack Arteta and get in a proper manager? I don't know. And I'm sure there'll be managers out there that would love the challenge, actually, of coming in with these players, because we have got some good young players. There's no doubt about it. We've got some talent in the squad. And I'm sure there's a manager out there that can get more out of them. Have we got a squad to be much better than where we are? Probably not. But you just want to see a little bit more fight and a little bit more idea. I mean, defensively, we've been terrible. We've given away 2 really, really poor goals. We gave away 2 really poor goals last week. And we don't look like scoring, do we? This could be, it's a game and 36 minutes where how many shots did we have on target last week? There was one I can remember from Pepe that forced a save out of the goalkeeper near the end when we were already 2-0 down. And that's about it. We're not creating chances. We look like we can concede goals. We don't look like we really know what we're doing, and that is quite worrying. Russ says everyone should get up and walk out at half-time. Well, I don't know if they will, but that would be certainly a sight to see, wouldn't it? Joe says, how you doing, Joe? Thanks for tuning in. I know you was asking about it yesterday. Played off the park here, mate. Could be fine. And I agree, we have been played off the park. I mean, are we surprised when we saw the lineup? Not really. I was just hoping that we may put in a bit more of a fight. But we've been really poor, as you say. We have been played off the park. It's been far too easy for Chelsea. And it's not acceptable for Arsenal, is it? We should, at least at home, we should be able to put up more of a fight. Whatever players we've got out there, whatever 11 are representing Arsenal, the least we expect is to put up a fight against anyone, especially London rivals. And yes, they're a better team than us and they've got better players than us, but that's not really an excuse for the way that we've played in this first half and the way we played last week and the way we played in pre-season. Anyway, maybe now we can get something back. Smith Rowe now coming forward. He's looked quite lively. Him and Lokonga have maybe been the 2 bright sparks. Jenny tried to drill across, cleared away. Saka wins a header. Who was on the stretch there? Smith Rowe on the edge of the 6-yard box, couldn't get on the end of it. And that's going to be another attack that comes to nothing for Arsenal. Russ says there is Martinelli even playing well. He hasn't done anything, has he? I mean, we haven't really got the ball towards him to give him anything to feed off, maybe. But are the players happy? This is what I'm questioning. They certainly don't look happy, do they? When they're playing, they just don't look as though they're able to express themselves. Smith Rowe may be the exception. He's certainly running with the ball well. And Lokonga does look quite good, but he hasn't been Arteta-fied yet, has he, too much? Chelsea again coming forward. Is it going to be another goal? Oh, it looked like it should have been an easy header for Lukaku there. It was a cross from Kai Havertz. Or was it Mason Mount put a cross in? Them two combined well. It looked as though Lukaku just had an easy header there, actually, but it maybe just went over the top of his head and he couldn't quite get it. And the ball's now gone all the way back to Leno. And now Pablo Mari, of course, on that yellow card, which he got just before Chelsea's second goal. It's going to mean he can't really... He's going to have to be careful, isn't he, now with any challenges on Lukaku. But Arsenal now coming forward. Pepe plays the ball to Xhaka. It's all in front of the Chelsea defence at the moment. Very well organised defence it is. Pepe now tries to turn, but he finds Saka. And Saka again tries to get a ball into the box. My stream is just frozen at a crucial moment, which isn't really ideal, is it? Let's just see if I can refresh and we might be back in business again. Sorry about this. It's a free kick, is it? No, is it a corner to Arsenal? I've rejoined it. It's a corner to Arsenal over on that far side. I don't know what happened before. Referee Paul Tierney is now marching into the penalty area, so he means business. Was there a bit of pushing and shoving there with the goalkeeper? I'm not really sure. Xhaka and Aspilicueta seem to be having a bit of a push and a shove there. The corner now comes in from Pepe. He's headed away, is it? To the edge of the area. And Chelsea managed to deal with that. So I must have missed this. I think there was a bit of VAR going on, a possible penalty to Arsenal before that corner. Or it says streams 15 seconds, but it probably is. I'm sorry about that. It says Arsenal penalty not given. Russ Morgan says that's a penalty, surely. I haven't seen it. Sorry, my stream froze at that particular moment. Kevin says, yeah, well said, Richard, at least fight. Then we wouldn't moan so much. No, exactly. That's all we want to see, don't we? A bit of fight. That's all I want to see. We haven't really got much quality in certain areas of the pitch. So he said VR was still looking at no penalty call. That must have been before. Let's have a look at that incident again. I'm sure there'll be a replay of it perhaps in a minute. We just had another attack then, which Martinelli tried to do a turn, but Rudiger came across and cleared the ball away for a throw to Arsenal. We were 2.5 minutes away from the first half. It's been an extremely difficult watch in this first half for Arsenal. 2-0 down to Chelsea. Two really soft goals that we've given them. We've not really threatened too much. I haven't seen that penalty incident. I'll have to see that again, see exactly what happened with that and how unfortunate it was. I'm sure I'll see that at half time, if not before, if they show a replay of it. But we have got a throw in line with the edge of the penalty area on that far side, which Kieran Tierney's going to take. And the rain started again at the Emirates. It was, of course, raining before the game as well, and it's raining again. Kieran Tierney tries to get a cross in, but it's blocked again by Reece James. Probably been the best player on the pitch in his first half, Reece James. Got a goal as well and an assist. So if he's in your fantasy team, you've certainly done well from him this week. Unfortunately, I've got Kieran Tierney in mine. And at the moment, he's not going to be getting me too many points, is he? Along with most of my other players this week. I've not had a great week in fantasy football. We have got a corner on the far side. Pepe takes it. It's an outswing. It's flicked on by. It comes to Cedric actually on the edge of the penalty area. Puts a cross back in towards the far post. Header comes in just inside the 6-yard box. Was it Rob Holding? Couldn't quite get his shot away. And Chelsea again cleared the ball. And it's gone out now for a throw to Arsenal on this near side. Slightly better that was from Arsenal there. Put a little bit of pressure on at the corner. Rob Holding and Rudiger there have a little bit of a. Rob Holding just pushed Rudiger away, and in fact he's got a yellow card, Rob Holding, for that incident with Rudiger there. He did push him away. Not quite sure what happened. He didn't seem to want to talk to the Chelsea defender there. Yeah, the corner came to Cedric. It's quite a dangerous ball, and it was headed back across the goal, and Rob Holding couldn't quite get the ball away. And then, that was a late challenge actually. Maybe he was booked for the challenge on Alonso. He flew into that actually. That was a silly challenge. He's maybe lucky just to get a yellow card, actually, Rob Holding, for that. You can understand Rudiger's frustration there. Alonso gets to his feet, limping slightly. But yeah, that wasn't a very good challenge that from Rob Holding at all. But he has got a yellow card, so that's our second booking of this first half. Both set halves now have been booked, so that's a worrying sign with the second half still to come. We're not going to be able to put too many challenges on Lukaku, are we? Rob Holding now wins the ball back well there. Finds Tierney. It's going to be 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. We're just into the first minute now. Saka now on his far side. He's had a couple of decent moments, Saka, but hasn't really had much influence. Now, Xhaka tries to get a cross and it's deflected away. It is going to be a corner that was off Jorginho with his bleached blonde hair. Of course, following his success in the Euros, helping Italy to win that game of final, of course, against us and Bukayo Saka. But it is going to be a corner to Arsenal. We've had 87% possession in the last 5 minutes. They've just said absolutely pointless. But anyway, corner again from Pepe into the near post. Again, it's cleared away. I don't know what our set piece coach is doing. Clearly not practicing corners. And it's an offside given, is it? Against Arsenal. In fact, it is. The flag's up on its near side. I didn't really see who was offside there. But anyway, we're now into the second minute of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Very, very disappointing first half from Arsenal, you have to say. Chelsea have been in complete control pretty much from the start. We had that one early opportunity, Smith Rowe shot straight at the goalkeeper. Other than that, that's it. Kevin says there, mid-season team at best Arsenal at the moment. Cup's our only chance. But just fight for the club. The players that seem to have it too easy these days. Yeah, maybe you're right, Kev. Maybe they certainly don't seem to want to push themselves, do they? Russ says there we need to put a missing persons report out for Martinelli. Yeah, he's been anonymous. I totally agree. He's not the only one though. And Off says there last season Arteta blamed the players. The fans was divided, but the reality, shame on him. Emery game exposed him and all his weaknesses. Well, no, it did, and not just that game. There's been a lot of games. Anyway, it's half time now. And it is 2-0 to Chelsea. It's Lukaku and Reece James with the goals. You can't say that Chelsea haven't deserved that either. They've been the better team pretty much from the start. And we have looked what we are, disjointed, disinterested almost, and really, really poor. Kev says there, Martinelli only as good as your supplier. No supplier, no chance. It's not his fault. No, I was kind of alluding to that a bit earlier. He hasn't been in the game. He hasn't been able to get in the game. Maybe you want to see him working a little bit harder, maybe dropping in to try to get into the game. But yeah, it's not really set up for a forward in this game for Arsenal. In fact, it hasn't been for a long time the way that we play. But in this game, Chelsea have known how to keep us quiet. You've got to stop Kieran Tierney getting crosses into the box. He's had one or two, but again, there's no one in there anyway. The rest of the time, he's been well shackled. Actually, I have to say, Reece James has been impressive in this game. Not only going forward with a goal and an assist, but also defensively as well. So he's been, I'll say, he's probably been the standout player on the pitch in that first half. We've just been poor, really, to a man. The only possible bright sparks that we can look at is Lokonga in midfield. I think he does need more around him, quite clearly. But he's certainly looking promising, isn't he, so far, not just in this game, but last week as well and in pre-season. And Smith Rowe, at least he's looking to drive at the Chelsea defence when he gets the ball. He's trying to make something happen, but not having any success so far. Pepe's been hit and miss in and out of the game, did one or two nice things, but hasn't had any influence at all. Martinelli, as we've said, barely touched the ball. Saka's had one or two bright moments, but I think he's maybe a little bit off the pace. It is his first start, isn't it? And I'm not sure if he's quite 100% match fit yet. He certainly looked a shadow of the player that we know he can be in that first half. So from a forward perspective, we've not really threatened at all. And defensively, unfortunately, we've been all over the place. Just terrible. It's been terrible. And Rajan was in the chat. How you doing, mate? Thanks for tuning in. He says, we don't have any left out. We don't seem to have today, do we? I mean, obviously, Tierney's been one of our better players generally, but he's been exposed for both the two goals, hasn't he? They've both come from that side of the pitch. He's not been in his right position. He's been far too central, and there's been space in that side, and it's led to both goals. So yeah, it's defensively we have been poor to a man, and you can't even defend. Usually Tierney's maybe one of our brighter sparks, but today defensively he's been poor. Both the goals have been down that side, and it's not looking good. Let's be fair. How can we turn this around in the second half? I mean, maybe we need to look at that. I mean, there's nothing much on the bench, is there, that makes you think, you know what, someone can come on and become a hero in this game. Aubameyang, of course, is the only one you can look at, experienced player who could maybe do something. But look how he's been playing for the last year or so. Can you see him coming on and making a difference in this game? I certainly can't. And as Kevin rightly said before, the forwards aren't getting the supply. So what realistically would Aubameyang do if he came on anyway? Rajendra says here, normally Saka should be tracking back on James. Yeah, he possibly needs to be. But we're just disorganised, aren't we? That's the problem. No one's communicating, no one's talking, no one's organising us at the back. And that's why we've been pulled apart far too easily. And it was the same last week, wasn't it, at times? And yes, Chelsea are a good side, the European champions, as we mentioned before. They've got a system, they know what they're doing, and they're well coached. But even Brentford, a new team up into the Premier League, did the same to us last week, didn't they? They just maybe didn't have as much quality as Chelsea, and Chelsea so far have punished us more in the first half. It's worrying. And it's a serious problem. We could well be. I mean, we did say after last week that we could be bottom of the league going into the international break. Bearing in mind we played Man City away last week and they scored just 5 goals yesterday against Norwich, didn't they? So that's going to be a nice, easy game for us next Saturday lunchtime as well. So yeah, it's not looking very good, is it? Let's be honest. And what I wanted to see in this game, I wasn't expecting us to go out and play Chelsea off the park and win 3-0. I wanted to see that Arteta had learned from the mistakes of last week, the mistakes from last season, and that he was maybe looking at, yes, we've got players missing, but you've got to utilise what you've got. And he would have known the players that were likely to be missing most of the week. I know Ben White maybe was a late one yesterday. I think it was. He had to pull out of the team. But other than that, the rest of the players, they would have been working on stuff in training this week. Why haven't we come up with a system? We know how Chelsea are going to play. We know their system. And what you want to see is something to counteract that. That's what I wanted to see today. Regardless of the result, yes, you want to see us win. Of course we do. But you just want to see us go out there with a plan. And you think to yourself, right, okay, you can see what Arteta's done. He's learned from a few mistakes. He's put a few things in place. And you can see some improvements. And this is what we want to see. We haven't seen that again. And how much longer are we not going to see these improvements? It doesn't matter who we're playing against. We should be able to see something that's happened in training to make you think, you know what, they've worked on this. And yes, it's still not perfect, but at least you can see progression and something that you can cling on to and think, you know what, things might get better. But no, we're not seeing that. And we haven't been seeing it for a while, if we're totally honest. And personally, for me, I would get rid of Arteta immediately after this game. I would, because there's not enough to suggest that he can turn this around. Regardless of the players that we've got out missing, regardless of anything else, you want to see the team organised and have a plan. And we never seem to do that, ever. And I'm starting to wonder whether or not we ever will under this manager, I'm afraid. So I think we are not going to be able to progress as things stand. And I don't care who else we buy in the transfer window. It's not about the players anymore. We've got players here. Martinelli, look how good Martinelli was when he first came into the side. Look how we know what a great player Smith Rowe is. We know what a great player Saka is. We know what potentially a great player Pepe can be. And he's not getting enough out of any of those players, is he? To influence games enough. When we've got that attacking talent, even with the players we've got out, we've still got some great attacking talent on this pitch today. And we did last week as well. And we're just not creating anything. And then you look at how defensively unorganised we are. I mean, if you look at it, right, we don't really have a decent right back anyway. It was a right back at fault for the first goal, Cedric playing them on side. But even if we had Bellerin in there, it's not going to make any difference, is it? Chambers clearly isn't good enough either. And yes, Ben White's missing today, but last week he didn't cover himself in glory. There was nothing to suggest he would have been any better than Rob Holding today. In time, he may well be, but at this moment in time, there's nothing to suggest that he would have been. So you can't really blame the players missing on the bad organisation and the way that we're playing. I don't think we can. Regenda says Ainsley Maitland-Niles required to mark Lukaku out of the game. Maybe it's a bit late for marking him out of the game now, isn't it? When we're 2-0 down, we need something at the other end of the pitch. Maybe we should have thought about that at the start. Again, you see, having a plan for who you're playing against rather than just sticking to the same system, hoping it's going to work. And it hasn't managed to work yet, has it, for a long time. Regenda again says, we may need to play counter-attacks. Saka needs to be replaced by Ainsley. Well, we were sort of playing counter-attack then, and it's just not working. I don't know. I think this game now, I think personally for this game, for me, it's more about almost damage limitations to a certain extent. What we don't want to do is get absolutely hammered. I think that would be embarrassing, and that could really have a really bad effect on the season to get a hammering this early on. I do feel as though we've got to look at that and yes, maybe a little bit of damage limitations, I would say, just to try to, come out in the second half, at least try and show a little bit of fight. Don't concede any more goals would be ideal, and see if we can somehow manage to find a goal. And then you never know. If we can score a goal, get it back to 2-1, who knows? Suddenly the whole dynamic of the game changes. But we just haven't looked like doing it. That's the thing, isn't it? We just haven't looked like doing it. And it's really, really, really disappointing and frustrating. And yeah, I don't know what to say, really. Let's just hope that the second half produces something. We show a little bit of fight at least, if nothing else, just a little bit of fight. I'm just showing the penalty there, or the potential penalty. It was Saka with Reece James. It was a coming together. We've certainly seen him given. Let's put it that way. Was there enough there? I don't know. I've just seen that one replay of it. I don't know. Or says there, Arteta has magnificent plan. That's the news. What's that right? Well, yeah, he does have a plan. Obviously, it's not the right one. Russ says we have spent nearly 30 million on a backup goalkeeper who will play cup matches. Well, we don't know. I think he's been bought to eventually replace Leno. Obviously, not today, and not in the immediate future. But I think that's what's happened. But we'll see. I mean, we've spent 130 million and haven't improved our first team and haven't improved our chances of progressing on the pitch from last season, have we? That's the bigger issue for me, rather than looking at that one particular position. Potentially, Ramsdale could end up being a better goalkeeper than Leno, in which case we've strengthened one area of the team. But we spent 130 million pounds and haven't improved our team at all. And that's a worry. And that's what I'm more concerned about. I want to give Ramsdale an opportunity. I'd like to see him play. He'll probably play Wednesday night in the Carabao Cup against West Brom. So hopefully that may be the opportunity for him to show exactly what he can do at Arsenal. And I say I don't think it'll be too long until he will be number one. But then we've got a problem. Who's going to be the number two goalkeeper then? Because Leno won't hang about as number two, really. I just don't think he will. And then we're going to have to buy another goalkeeper, aren't we? So again, a little bit baffling. But anyway, let's see what happens. Regenda says Lokonga is an improvement. Yes, he is. At the moment, unfortunately, he's replacing Thomas Partey. And although I've been very, very happy with how Lokonga's been playing, is he better than Thomas Partey? Is he an upgrade on Thomas Partey? No. And he was brought in as cover for Thomas Partey, and that's what he's being used as at the moment. And he's done well. And I think he's going to probably, as I said earlier, I think he's going to prove to be probably our best signing of this summer overall. Maybe Ødegaard as well. But, yeah, I don't see our midfield being any stronger than last season with when it was Partey and Xhaka and having Lokonga and Xhaka. In fact, you could say it's maybe not quite as strong because I don't think Lokonga is as good as Partey yet. He could be, but not yet. But even I'll say I've been impressed with him. Regeneron says a partner for Partey. Yeah, maybe he will become that perhaps when Partey's back fit. We'll have to see, and we'll have to see how that partnership works because we don't know yet. We haven't seen them play together, have we? I believe that Xhaka being offered, having had his new contract, now wearing the armband, I can't see Xhaka being left out of the team. I've got to be honest. I think Arteta isn't going to leave him out. So I think it's who partners Xhaka. And at the moment, you'd say a fit Thomas Partey would be first choice and Lokonga would be backup. Yes, he's better backup than El Neni. I agree. In the same way that Tavares is probably better backup for Tierney than Kolasinac. But it isn't improving the first team, is it? It's improving the backup, which is great, but not really what we needed when we've just finished 8th 2 seasons in a row if we want to progress and get back in Europe. That's, for me, that's what it's about. We'll see what happens as the season progresses. Maybe we'll see a midfielder of Partey and Lokonga, and maybe that will be a really good partnership, and maybe that will improve the team. At this moment in time, that isn't what's happening, and I don't think that was the plan necessarily. Because Xhaka now being given that contract and being given the armband, he's likely to be playing most games, isn't he? When he's fit and available. So, yeah, I can't see that necessarily being the first choice partnership, but it may happen as the season progresses. We'll have to wait and see. And of course, the transfer window is still open. Let's not forget. But how much more money are we likely to spend? We've already spent more than teams like Manchester City and Manchester United and Chelsea, the big spenders. We've spent more than all of them. So, are we going to spend any more? If we don't, I'm really, really worried about squad depth, the strength of the first team. Anyway, Regendra says there, for today we need Ainsley and Chambers on to solidify the defence. Well, I'm not really sure Chambers solidifies anything, if I'm totally honest. I think he's a bit of a liability, and I think Lukaku will have even more of a field day against him. The problem we've got is both our central defenders are on yellow cards, so maybe Chambers may well come on for that reason, because you can see one of them getting a second yellow card in the second half by being, just giving a foul away against Lukaku. You can just see it happening. So there's a possibility there. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I just want to see us have a little bit more fight in the second half, even if we can't get back in it. Let's just not get absolutely hammered, because that would be a disaster. Anyway, the teams are back out for the second half. We are about to get underway again, and Chelsea will be kicking off, attacking the goal to our right, attacking the clock end, of course, where their fans are in that far corner, and Arsenal will be attacking the North Bank to our left. The first time we've attacked the North Bank with a big crowd in since the West Ham game in, March 2020. That's how long ago that was. Of course, we did win that game 1-0. Maybe we were slightly fortunate to win that game, if you remember. It was Lacazette with a goal, of course, not here today due to COVID. Ozil with the assist, of course, not here today because he's moved on. A much changed Arsenal side from that West Ham game, actually, isn't it? When you look at it, the players that's come in as well. Joe says there, it's just been awful, mate. Not enjoyed it at all. Can really see this being 4 or 5-0. I think it depends on Chelsea's approach to the second half as well. If Chelsea want to embarrass us and score more goals, you can see that they could potentially do that. And they're coming forward again early in the second half with Reece James again, causing us the problems this time down this near side, of course. Arsenal's left. Reece James again into Lukaku in the penalty area. That's a good ball. Jorginho plays it square to Havertz. Now it's with Mount. Can Mount get across in? He plays it back inside. Chelsea look like they're just toying with us at the moment. Aspilicueta and Christensen exchanging passes deep in our half. All the Chelsea players, in fact, everybody is deep in Arsenal's half. We've got a lot of players behind the ball, everybody behind the ball, and not really laying a glove on Chelsea at the moment. We've played a minute and a half of this second half. It is still Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. Chelsea now coming forward. I worry if they score a third goal quite early. I really would worry then. Oh, that was a good play there from Lukaku again. Held it up well on the edge of the penalty area. And looked like it may have been a foul, but the referee said no. Chelsea's still in possession. Now it's Aspilicueta into Lukaku again inside the penalty area. He holds off 2 challenges, bursts through, and the ball's deflected away. Has it gone behind for a corner? No, it was kept in by Rob Holding, but it's going to be a throw. Lukaku then trying to bully our defence and very nearly succeeding as well. I mean, he's a big, strong lad, isn't he? There's no doubt about it. He's a handful, and he's going to cause problems to many defences this season, I'm sure. But with our 2 central defenders, I say, on a yellow card, it makes our job even more difficult. Anyway, Chelsea now, they've got the ball back to Mendy, who's about 10 yards outside the penalty area. Plays it to Rudiger, gets it back again. Arsenal not really pressing, not really doing anything. I don't think we've even touched the ball in the second half yet. We've played 2.5 minutes. And Chelsea have now won a throw over on that far side. There seems to be a lot more empty seats in the second half, whether people are still down, drowning their sorrows, or whether some have done what Russ said and gone home. I don't know. We'll see if it fills up a little bit more as the second half progresses. Of course, the weather's not helping either. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that. Kevin says there, we need some hatred and arrogance in our players, in the good sense of the word, i.e. Wright, Vieira, Adams. If you want it, come and get it. As you know, totally, Kev, I totally agree with that. We are far too passive, aren't we? We're not aggressive at all. And we get bullied far too easily. I wouldn't say Chelsea have necessarily bullied us today. They've just played us off the park in football. Lukaku's maybe, been far too strong and clever for our defence. But it's a totally different game to last week against Brentford. Did bully us, whereas Chelsea have just outplayed us with football because they've got a plan, an idea, and they've got better players. But yeah, we do need to be more. We do need to have a more nasty streak to us, don't we? We are too nice. I agree completely. But you're not going to get that with Arteta. He's not that sort of manager, is he? Anyway, he's not the sort of manager that you can see getting the players fired up to go out there and do that job. And we don't, because you see it week in, week out, don't we? We don't play like that. Anyway, Chelsea coming forward again. Again, it's Lukaku inside the penalty area. Mari actually does well again, manages to block the shot. But again, that ball into Lukaku, we're not cutting that out at all, are we? He's getting that ball lots and lots. Now, it's Mason Mount does well in the penalty area. Shot comes in, it hits Rob Holding rather than Rob Holding maybe blocking it. And we do manage to scramble it clear. But this has been quite a worrying start to this second half. Tierney now trying to make a burst down that left-hand side, but he's not going to get there. We may win a corner out of it with that back pass from Christensen, but Mendy does well, actually. And Chelsea have got out of that little problem with some neat football. But you can see, I think Chelsea have come out in the second half. They want to kill this game off. They want to get that third goal. And they've looked dangerous again. We've just had an offside. I think it was off Martinelli. A Smith Rowe burst through. Looked like Martinelli was just a little bit lazy there, getting himself back on side. It was a nice touch to Smith Rowe, actually. But he needed to be more alert there. Make sure he was on side. He didn't do that. And that ends that attack as well. Chelsea again coming forward. As Mari does well there, actually, to rob the ball off Lukaku. Finds Xhaka. He was closed down, but Rob Holding tried to play the ball out to Pepe on that far side, but it was cut out by Chelsea. Suddenly we're putting a few tackles in now. Look, was that a foul? Referee says no. Jorginho on Smith Rowe, and now Chelsea can come forward. Not sure if that was a free kick. That's a good ball out to that near side, but a far side, but well covered by Cedric back to Leno. We've got DMD in the chat there. Pepe is awful at crossing. He's awful at quite a few things, actually. And he's also very good at some other things, but they maybe don't come out as much as they need to. That's a great ball, actually, out to Pepe, talking about him now over on that far side. Can he beat his man? He wants to get it onto his left foot, doesn't he, so much. It comes back to Lokonga, plays it out to Cedric, whips across in opposite Smith Rowe, actually, and diving header there from Rudiger. It's gone out for a corner to Arsenal. This is a little bit better, isn't it? Now, it was Smith Rowe, actually. Looks like he's limping a little bit there, which is a little bit of a worry. He did, of course, just have that incident with Jorginho. Anyway, we played the corner short. Pepe gets it back again. A terrible cross. Doesn't even beat the first man. But the ball does come out to Lokonga. Dinks the ball towards the far post. Again, it's the Chelsea head that gets to it. We do pick up a loose ball with Xhaka. Shot comes in from Saka. Good save from Mendy. That's the closest we've come to a goal in this game. Shot from Saka from the edge of the penalty area. Well, about 20 yards out it was, on his left foot. It's a good strike, actually. In fact, he took a slight deflection, I think, off Alonso. It was just going to dip in under that crossbar. That's a good save from Mendy. A little bit for the cameras there. He made the most of it, but it was a decent save. It's going to be another corner to Arsenal. That's the closest we've come. Maybe a goal in 52 minutes may have made a difference. We'll see. We have still got a corner. There's still a bit of pressure on the Chelsea goal. Pepe again with his corner. Again, it's headed out this time by Lukaku, actually at the near post. Comes out to Kieran Tierney. He finds Saka, just had that great shot. Can he beat his man and get a cross in? He's trying to wriggle his way around to find some space. The ball stays in. He's done well there, Saka, has he? He's gone out now. It's going to be a goal kick. He was under pressure there from Azpilicueta and Reece James, and in the end, he's gone out for a goal kick to Chelsea. And again, they're far too clever, far too strong, and they're just a better team. You know, what can we say? Anyway, they've played this goal kick short. Are we pressing? Are we not pressing? Not really. And Chelsea have got clear down this near side. Lukaku there. That may have been a foul actually on Mount, but the referee's allowed play to go on. Reece James finds Havertz. He plays it on to Rudiger. Chelsea moving this well. We force them back slightly now. It's now with Christensen inside the centre circle. He exchanges passes with Azpilicueta. Rudiger again. Kovacic for Chelsea. We're pressing a little bit earlier now, trying to win the ball back high up the pitch, but Chelsea can deal with that. It's not a problem for them. It goes all the way back to Mendy. And Mendy plays it to Rudiger over on that far side. Chelsea keeping possession well. We are pressing, but it's not a problem for Chelsea. They're quite comfortable with the ball. They're not panicked. They're not rushing it. They're just playing it nice and simply. Again, Rudiger plays it up the line to Alonso, and Chelsea have now won a throw. They just kept possession there really well, Chelsea. I don't want to keep going on about it, but they just look a really well-coached side, don't they? Yes, they've got good players as well, which helps, obviously. But you can see how well-coached they are. They all know what they're doing. And yes, they're good enough to be able to carry it off. Here they go again with an attack now. Kai Havertz there with a nice turn to Mason Mount. He's got Reece James again with a little bit of space down this near side for Chelsea. Running at Kieran Tierney. Plays the ball back inside to Azpilicueta. Puts a cross in. Arsenal don't really deal with that particularly well. Cedric panics and has headed it out for a corner. Again, defensively, we look absolutely dreadful. The cross came in from Azpilicueta. It wasn't even a great cross, if we're totally honest. It was heading towards the direction of Lukaku. We had 2 or 3 defenders there. Nobody wanted to take control. And in the end, Cedric, despite having a little bit of time, just panicked and headed it out for a corner. Chelsea's 3rd corner of the game. Down in that corner where their fans are. Quite a lot of empty seats in the Chelsea end as well, actually, at the moment. But anyway, don't worry about that. It is a corner to Chelsea on that far side. It's whipped in towards the near post. Arsenal sort of deal with it, but not particularly well. Chelsea still have got possession again over in that far corner in front of their travelling fans. Not they've travelled very far, most of them. Jorginho gets the ball back again. Jorginho, again, he gets it back. Kai Havertz tries to wriggle his way through into the penalty area. Cedric does a bit better there, and then Smith Rowe can complete the clearance, but there's no one up there for Arsenal. Maybe it is damage limitations, really. Arsenal getting everybody behind the ball, not wanting to take any risks at all. But Chelsea are still in possession and playing in front of us. Again, we're not really pressing at all. Rudiger switched the play here to Azpilicueta. He's got Reece James, then gets it back, plays it inside to Jorginho. Looked to play a ball inside Mari to Lukaku, but it wasn't a great pass in the end. It's run through to Bernd Leno. But Chelsea looking extremely comfortable. Worryingly for Arsenal, far too comfortable. We've played 11 and a half minutes of the second half. It is still Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. And we're offside again from that long ball from Leno. It was Pepe this time. Lazy play again, not looking across the line. And Chelsea now taking the free kick quickly. They do a lot of things quickly, Chelsea. Reece James again. Again, he's running at Kieran Tierney. Plays it into Lukaku, who lays it off to Mason Mount. The shot comes in, but he's dragged it wide of that post. But again, it was incisive play from Chelsea. Good play, actually, again, you have to say, from Chelsea. It was Reece James again at the heart of it, running at Kieran Tierney. Played it into Lukaku. A lovely little touch off to Mason Mount. He found space for a shot on the edge of the penalty area, but wasn't able to put it in a corner and just put it wide of the post. Now Lokonga trying to do something for Arsenal, plays it into Smith Rowe, just bullied off the ball to Xhaka, sorry. No, it was Martinelli actually, fell through the back of him. Maybe that should be a yellow card actually for Christensen, because it was very, very similar to the yellow card that Mari got on Lukaku a bit earlier. But anyway, we shouldn't be surprised to see Arsenal coming out worse out of those kind of decisions. But anyway, we have taken a free kick quickly. Cedric there loses the ball far too easily. Jorginho then tries to again feed Lukaku. Mari does well. Lokonga again to Smith Rowe. Plays it to Cedric out on that far side. And then plays it back to Rob Holding. Now Mari again gets it back from Saka, and there it goes all the way back to Bernd Leno. This is Arteta ball at its best, isn't it? Or its worst, whichever way you want to look at it. Lots of possession, not really going anywhere, and the ball always ends up back at the goal kick. But that's a long ball over the top, though. Looking for Martinelli. This could be interesting. Good defending again, though, from Chelsea. It is a corner. It was Christensen there. Leno's long ball there, looking for Martinelli to get him behind the Chelsea defence. But Christensen read the situation well. Kevin says there, that offside, Pepe, shocking for a professional. His mind must be somewhere else. Well, yeah, I think a lot of their minds are somewhere else. And Rush just reiterates the point I just made. Christensen does the same foul as Mari. Mari gets booked and Christensen doesn't. But there's no agenda against Arsenal. Anyway, Aubameyang's warming up on the touchline, getting his top off. So we are going to see Aubameyang for the first time this season. Anyway, Pepe with this corner. It's a deep one, headed back into the box. Rob Holding with a header. Puts it wide from 6 yards. That was quite a good chance, actually. It has to be said. DMD there says, yeah, Holding close. He was close. It was a corner to the far post. I think it was Mari headed it back. Rob Holding on a 6 yard line. Really should have done better, actually. Should have at least got it on target. Tried to go for that far corner. Couldn't quite direct it inside the post. That was a big moment, actually. If that goes in, who knows? And Rajanda says there, it is agenda against ours. Yeah, I believe it is. I definitely do. I've said this for quite a while. Actually, the way the decisions go, we don't seem to get too many of those that go our way, but loads go against us. And that was another example. So we shouldn't really be surprised by that, should we? And Rajanda says it happened at Brentford. It did, yeah. It did. Yeah, it was every week. Rob Holding's now getting involved with Guy Havertz. A bit silly when he's on a booking. Guy Havertz was the instigator of that, to be fair. He didn't agree with the decision, a free kick against him. He held on to the ball too long. And now he's not going to get booked either. Interesting again from referee Paul Tierney deciding not to book Rudiger. Anyway, we are seeing the change now. It's Saka who's going to come off for Aubameyang. Not been Saka's greatest game. He did have that one effort in that second half. I don't think he's fully 100% match fit yet, to be fair. Gets a great reception off the crowd, fully deserved. Not his best game today, of course, but as I say, don't know how fit he is. But Aubameyang's coming on, and I've got a feeling he's going to play through the middle with Martinelli moving to the left. That would be my guess. And he's just taking the captain's armband off Xhaka. He wants to worry more about getting a goal. Anyway, he is playing through the middle. It looks like Martinelli has moved to the left-hand side. So a slight change for Arsenal, but not a change of shape, just a slight change of personnel. Let's see if Aubameyang, this is his first touch here out on that far side, just gets bullied off the ball. Again, too weak. Oh, Xhaka needs to be careful there. He's just giving away a foul through the back there. It'll be interesting to see if he gets a yellow card for that. When Christensen didn't just a minute ago, that was a foul on Mason Mount. In fact, the referee hasn't booked Granit Xhaka either, so at least he showed a little bit of consistency there. And a little handshake there between Mount and Xhaka, although Mount didn't seem particularly keen to take it. But anyway, Chelsea have taken that free kick. And I think they're going to win a throw-in on that far side again in front of where their fans are. And Russ says, of course, no yellow for Havertz. No, of course not. And DMD says, Uber and Marty, decent link up. Well, yeah, let's see what will happen here. Now we've got an opportunity here, maybe Martinelli running at the Chelsea defence. He suddenly looks a little bit more live on that left-hand side. Tried to play it through to Aubameyang. Does get it through to Aubameyang, and his shot is straight at the goalkeeper. That's Aubameyang's first shot of the season. He's only just come on, to be fair. Martinelli looks a bit better there, running at the Chelsea defence. The initial ball came off the defender, actually, Jorginho, and it fell to Aubameyang nicely, and his shot was straight at Mendy, who again has quite a comfortable save to make. Now Chelsea again trying to come out of defence. A little bit better from Arsenal. Maybe that changes just helped slightly. But Chelsea now looking on the counter-attack, which is always going to be the danger. Reece James is over on the left-hand side. It's Mason Mount coming forward, plays it into Lukaku. Was he offside? The ball runs across the penalty area, 6-yard box, and Arsenal managed to scramble it clear. But again, Lukaku's causing us a lot of problems, isn't he? Smith Rowe there looking to try to wriggle out of a tight spot. He does manage to find Lokonga, and he plays the ball to Pepe, who found Kieran Tierney, but Kieran Tierney gives the ball away. He's not had a great game either, Kieran Tierney, it has to be said. A ball played over the top again towards Lukaku. Is he onside? The flag stays down. Again, Reece James got the ball on this near side. Finds Mason Mount. Again, Reece James plays it back. Aubameyang actually working hard defensively there, wins the ball back. Maybe Aubameyang showing a little bit more hunger. Lokonga plays the ball through to Aubameyang, but Mendy's out of his goal. Far out of his goal with a long clearance that's gone all the way through to Bernd Leno. That was good play from Aubameyang, actually. Showed a good desire there. Worked back for the team, won the ball, and then made a run forward. Lokonga tried to put him in, and unfortunately the pass was just overhit, and he was onside Aubameyang as well. But Mendy had read the situation well and played, and obviously got there to knock the ball back up the pitch again. But that was much better from Arsenal. So well played Aubameyang. He's been criticised maybe for not showing enough desire, but he did there. Now Tierney's got a problem. Tierney's got an injury. He's just been given some sort of gel medicine, and we're going to see Tavares coming on. So I'm guessing that's going to be Tierney's race run for the day. Was he carrying that injury coming into this game? Because he was quite poor, I felt, in this game today. Nowhere near his usual self. Wasn't getting forward anywhere near enough. Wasn't a danger going forward. Looked poor defensively. Caught out for both the goals. Out of position. Not picking up Reece James. So was he carrying that injury originally already before this game? I don't know. But he's going off, and Tavares is going to come on and replace him. An opportunity maybe for this new young left back from Benfica to see what he can do. Not an easy game to come into, is it? As Russ says, Tierney coming off injured, what a shock. Yeah, not the first time, is it? This is one of the reasons why I wouldn't make him captain, because he just can't keep himself fit enough to play. Now Lukaku running at Lokonga, winning a free kick from Lokonga, and Lokonga gets a yellow card. So he's the third Arsenal player to have a yellow card. Should we have a guess how many Chelsea players have been booked today? Shall we have a guess? What do we reckon? I think it's a big 0. Lukaku then again, good hold-up play. I mean, Lokonga, Lukaku's gone down. He's twice the size of Lokonga. And Lokonga's been given a yellow card, which isn't a surprise, is it? But anyway, it's going to be a free kick now to Chelsea in a reasonably dangerous area. It's about 35, 40 yards out from goal, just slightly to the right-hand side. Probably too far out to have a shot, actually, unless you're Ronaldo. But it's going to be Mason Mount and Alonso over it. I think it's just going to be clipped into the box, maybe. The Arsenal defence is just outside the penalty area. Or is it going to be a shot maybe from Alonso? No, he dinks it over to the far post. Rob Holding doesn't get his header in. Chelsea again, a shot comes in from the edge of the box, but it's over the bar. I think it might have been, it was Kovacic actually with that shot. DMD there says KT plagued with injuries. He is plagued with injuries, and it's a serious problem. That's one of the reasons why we bought Tavares. And I say that's the reason why you can't have Kieran Tierney as captain, because he just doesn't play enough games. Let's hope the injury is not too serious and he's back for next Saturday. But it's, I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't. Kevin says there, the Conga. Sorry about the spelling. That's not a problem. We know what you mean. It's a G instead of a D, but other than that, I think you got it pretty right. One small bright light in a very dark tunnel. He's trying to. Lokonga's look good. He has. He looked good last week. He looked good in the pre-season games, and I like him. He's just not the answer on his own, is he? Unfortunately. But anyway, like you said, it's one bright spark, and we need to, look at the only bright sparks that we can and try and enjoy them, I suppose, because we're not going to get too many, are we? Looking at it. The Congo again there does well, drives the ball forward, gets it back. He's very neat and tight, isn't he? He's not a fancy player. He just does his job, and that's what really you want to see. Pepe now plays it out to the far side to Cedric, drills the ball into the penalty. Smith Rowe, it just maybe got away from him there, and it gave the Chelsea defender, Aspilicueta, I think it was, the opportunity to get a tackle in. Bit better that was from Arsenal, though. A little bit better. It was Cedric with a cross, low cross in towards the near post. Smith Rowe had made the run, managed to get onto the end of it there, but the ball just maybe ran away from him a little bit and gave Aspilicueta the opportunity to come across and clear the ball. But it was a decent ball actually from Cedric there, but the touch was maybe just slightly too far ahead of him. Actually, it was a block from Aspilicueta. Smith Rowe did manage to get the shot in, and it was blocked by the Chelsea defender. Good defending again from Chelsea, prepared to throw their bodies on the line for the calls. Something that we haven't done nearly enough in this game. Jorginho again plays up to Lukaku. He turns well. He's so strong. Plays it on to Havertz. Now it's over on the far side. Another good chance. It's Alonso into the penalty area. Plays it back to Reece James. He tries a shot. It's deflected wide. Every time Chelsea go forward, they look as though they've got the potential to score another goal. Lukaku again, far too strong and clever for our defence. It was a good ball into him from Jorginho. Held the ball up really well. Turned, I think it might have been Mari. Played the ball across to Havertz. He found Alonso. His ball played back to Reece James and the shot's deflected. It is a corner to Chelsea on this near side as they look to add another goal. 20 minutes to play. Could be a long 20 minutes for Arsenal if Chelsea do get a third goal here. The corner comes right away across the penalty area. Another shot comes in. Just wide of the post again. It was Kovacic that time with the effort. Don't know if it got a deflection, did it? No, it's going to be a goal kick. Must have just gone straight wide. Chelsea are now making a substitution, and it's nothing to worry about. It's just N'Golo Kante's coming on. So there you go. I'm not sure who's going to go off for Chelsea. It may well be Kovacic, I would imagine. But Chelsea coming forward again. Tavares there wins his defensive header. Well played there. Xhaka's ball there strikes a Chelsea player's arm, and it is a free kick to Arsenal. Are Chelsea going to make that change? It looks like it will be Kovacic coming off for N'Golo Kante, and it is Kovacic. And Kante's back fit again. DMD there says Pepe said pre-match that he needed a capacity crowd to get him fired up. Well, that certainly worked, doesn't it? So well done. And Russ says, Kante coming on for Chelsea, strength in depth. Yeah, exactly. Strength in depth because they got a squad. Yes, they've spent the money over the years to get it, I guess, but just goes to show how far away we are from competing for the top teams. And we'll see this again next week at Man City, I'm sure. But Kante's back on. Chelsea player's gone down. Looked, I don't know what's happened there actually. He's flat out. Not quite sure what happened there. Is it Reece James? Players are rushing around him. Looked quite concerning actually. He's flat out on his back. I don't know what happened there actually. I didn't see whether it's an off the ball, whether he had a collision with another player. Not really sure. But anyway, it's they're not even showing what's happening now. It did look a bit of a worry that actually for Reece James. I didn't see what happened. Just saw him flat out on the pitch, and players were rushing around him quite quickly. You don't like to see that, do you? It's quite worrying. Not quite sure what's going on at the moment. They're showing Thomas Tuchel at the moment on the bench, so I'm not really sure what's happening. It does look quite concerning. There's the medical team now on the pitch with Reece James, with a few Chelsea players around him. DMD there says he fell awkwardly. Oh, did he? I didn't see it. Oh, he's sitting up anyway, which is good. Good to see. I didn't see what happened. It looks like it may be an arm injury, possibly. And maybe he did fall awkwardly. That may be what happened. I didn't see it. So no doubt that might show a replay. But he's back on his feet again, which is good news. And he gets a handshake from Tavares, who was perhaps the closest Arsenal player to him. He's now going off the pitch as he did. He has to, but he looks to be okay, which is good news. Obviously, after what happened in the Euros, you don't like to see players just suddenly flat out on the pitch, do you? But he's okay. He is okay. But he's a corner to Arsenal, which Nicolas Pepe is going to take. It's an outswinger from this near side in towards the near post. But again, Chelsea clear it. Arsenal do pick up a loose ball. The Congo again plays it to the far post. That's an interesting ball. A header on into the 6-yard box. But again, an Arsenal player couldn't get hold of it. Mendy has done well under pressure. Good hands there from the Chelsea goalkeeper. But it's a little bit better from Arsenal there. Congo there played the ball to the far post. It was headed on. I think there was an offside anyway. I think it was Rob Holding. The ball ran away from him anyway, and Mendy did well. Joe Smith there says, for me, we need a striker. Yeah, we do. We've needed a striker, haven't we, for a while, actually, the whole of last season. Lukaku looks quite good, doesn't he? But anyway. Jorginho there plays the ball out to the far side to Alonso. Kante there getting involved with that attack. A nice little back heel. We don't manage to clear the ball particularly well. Chelsea back in control again. Aspilicueta for Chelsea. Into Jorginho. Plays it to Reece James now on this near side. He is back up and fit again, which is good to see. That's a good ball, actually. The other side of Tavares, who gets back well, cuts out across from Havertz. It will be a corner to Chelsea. Recovered well there. Tavares is maybe caught out slightly by that ball. Ran the wrong side of him, but he did well. He got back, and it is a corner though to Chelsea on this near side. It looks like Reece James is okay, which is good news. Anyway, he was involved in that attack there for Chelsea. I say now have a corner. It looks like they're going to play it short. Mount does play it short to Alonso. Plays it back to Jorginho. This is a team that have worked on set pieces. You can quite clearly see they're working this ball across the pitch. Jorginho now plays it in to Christensen, to Rudiger. Actually, this hasn't really gone anywhere, but they have kept possession of the ball. Maybe that was the idea. Christensen again to Rudiger on that far side. That was a strange cross, actually, into the box there from Rudiger, I think it was. The outside of his foot went straight through to Bernd Leno. We're into the last 15 minutes of this game. It's been a struggle this second half, actually. We've had one or two half-decent moments, but Chelsea have largely been in control. Pepe trying to get clear there, but wasn't able to. And Chelsea, again, cleared that up quite comfortably. And now they can come forward themselves. Kante does really well in the midfield, finds Mason Mount. Chelsea have got a man over, and it's Lukaku on this near side, running at the Arsenal defence. Plays it into Reece James again. He's held up briefly, but manages to play it back to Mason Mount. Across to the box towards Lukaku. A header comes in. It's hit the bar. Or was it the post? Somehow it stays out. Or was it a save, actually? DMD says it was a save by Leno. Looked like it was 3-0 there. Mason Mount with a cross. Lukaku got in front of the defence. Actually, it was a great save from Leno onto the crossbar. Wow. What a save that was. And Rob Holding was there to tidy up and put it behind for a corner. That's a great save from Leno. Strong left hand. Pushed it onto the crossbar. It would have been 3-0. That is a great save from Leno, actually. fantastic from the Arsenal goalkeeper. Maybe now he's got a bit of pressure on him from Ramsdale. Might start to see the performances that we were getting from him maybe a year or so ago on a consistent basis. But Lukaku thought he'd scored then his second goal. But it was a fantastic save. He's now being applauded by the Chelsea fans, and he applauds them back over on in that far corner of the stadium. The end that Chelsea are attacking in this second half. They will have a corner in a minute. There seems to be is there some problem with an injury? I'm not quite sure what's happening. They're just showing the Chelsea fans at the moment singing Lukaku's name. Again, it was a good attack from Chelsea. The cross comes in. Rob Holding's the wrong side of him. But what a save that is. Brilliant from Leno. But yeah, poor defending from Arsenal again. Rob Holding was caught out. But that was that's probably one of the best bits of play from an Arsenal player today, actually, that save. Outstanding stuff from Leno to deny Lukaku a second goal. That would have made it 3-0. But it will be a corner to Chelsea in a minute when the game resumes. I'm not quite sure what the delay is at the moment. I don't know if it's Reece James again getting some more treatment. I'm not sure. Actually, no, it's Martinelli actually for Arsenal in the penalty area, in our penalty area, received some treatment. He's now being carried behind the goal. And are we making a substitution? In fact, we've made the substitution. Balogun has come on for Martinelli, who's gone off injured. A second injury in his second half. Not like we've got enough injury problems already. Anyway, Balogun's on for another opportunity for him. The corner comes in for Chelsea into the 6-yard box. They haven't really cleared it. It comes across to the far post to, was it Alonso? The shot was blocked, but we can't manage to clear it. But we do now. Now we've maybe got a chance for a counter-attack, but no, we haven't, because Chelsea have a player in the right place to cut that out, and it's going to be a throw to Arsenal on the far side. Martinelli looks like he's struggling there, actually. He's already got some tape, is it, on his leg, on his thigh. And he doesn't look in a very good way, Martinelli. But now Arsenal coming forward down this left-hand side. It's Tavares with a powerful run. Decent cross, actually. But again, as is usually the case when we put crosses into the box, we haven't got an Arsenal player attacking the ball on the end of it at all. And it's gone out for eventually a throw-in on this left side, which Tavares is going to take as well. Tavares gets the ball back. He's actually looking quite lively going forward, but he was robbed of the ball there. And can Chelsea come away? No, Xhaka does well to win the ball back. And now Smith Rowe on this near side comes towards it into the penalty area, pulls the ball back. Again, it was towards Tavares, who stayed forward. And Chelsea now can come forward themselves with Lukaku, does really well to hold the ball up and wins a throw for Chelsea as we move into the last 10 minutes of this game. It's looking like a second victory of the season for Chelsea, a second defeat for Arsenal with no goals scored. Reece James is going to take this throw for Chelsea on this near side. If Arsenal could find a goal somehow in the next minute or two, could make it an interesting last 10 minutes, couldn't it? Lukaku now, is he offside? No, the flag stays down. He gets past Mari this time too easily. Plays the ball into the penalty area. The shot, or was it a cross, comes in, it was deflected. Leno does well where the ball slipped from his grasp there. But Arsenal do manage to scramble it away. I think it was Mason Mount there coming in. But again, Chelsea ripped us as apart defensively far too easily. Lokonga there played the ball looking for Aubameyang. He's not going to get it. And it goes all the way back to Mendy in goal for Chelsea. Yeah, if we could somehow manage to find a goal from somewhere in the next couple of minutes, it would certainly set up a grandstand finale, wouldn't it? And who knows? We may get a draw that we barely deserve. Anyway, Reece James there was put under pressure. His first touch wasn't great. Granit Xhaka there putting him under pressure. Sorry, but here's a free kick to Chelsea, and they're going to make another substitution. And it's going to be Ziyech coming on for Mason Mount. Again, as Russ said earlier, strength in depth that Chelsea have that we sadly don't. And Ziyech is coming on for Chelsea. That's their second change. Obviously, Kante came on just a few minutes earlier. We've made 2 changes as well, both for injuries, of course, with Tavares and Balogun coming on for Martinelli and Kieran Tierney, of course. Both of those players getting injured in this game, to add to the 8 players that we've already got out for one reason or another. Anyway, it's a throw to Arsenal on this near side. Smith Rowe's taking it. Tavares coming forward with Smith Rowe, and his cross, was it deflected? It was. It's another corner to Arsenal. That was deflected off Reece James. Tavares again looking lively coming forward, actually. He's done quite well. Defensively, he was caught out maybe once or twice, but he certainly looked lively coming forward. And again, he's a decent squad player to add to the squad, but is he improving our first 11? Probably not. DMD says, draw, I doubt it, mate. The next game piles so much pressure on Mikel. It does, back at his old club as well. But we have got a corner here. Pepe's going to take it. Can we get a goal from his corner, which would set some nerves jangling? Mendy comes for that. He didn't really get it, actually, but Chelsea have managed to get the ball clear, which I guess was what his job was. A long ball play over the top there was almost going to put N'Golo Kante in on goal, actually, but it was tidied up by the Arsenal defence. Now, again, the one player running forward the ball for Arsenal, Smith Rowe, plays the ball to Pepe. Now he's on this near side, twisting and turning. He's got Reece James for company. Reece James wins that battle, but Arsenal do win the throw, which Pepe is going to take himself to Tavares. Does well again, Tavares, in an attacking sense. Actually, it's quite a good player, Tavares, on the ball. Coming forward there, plays a nice ball into the box to Balogun, but Balogun was too weak. Oh, was it Pepe? It was Balogun, and he got pushed off the ball rather too easily there. And Chelsea managed to get the ball back into our half of the pitch. It was a throw which Pablo Mari took, but I think it maybe was actually the other way to Chelsea. We're into the last 6 minutes of this game, plus stoppage time. There'll be a bit of stoppage time. There was that injury, of course, to Reece James, and there was a bit of a hold-up when Martinelli was injured as well. They've just had the attempts on goal. Chelsea 19, Arsenal 6. That kind of sums up where we are. Of course, apparently we had 22 chances on goal last week. I'm not sure where all they came from, but anyway, we're back to normal today with 6. Again, it's a ball played into space here down this near side. It's Ziyech who's just come on, plays it across the penalty area. Cedric done well actually at the far post to clear that. Now Conte's coming forward. He's found Ziyech again. His cross is straight at the Arsenal defender. Actually, I think it was it Rob Holding? No, it was Xhaka actually inside his penalty area. But we've managed to get the ball clear slightly. But Chelsea are still in possession, as they have been for quite a long spell of the second half. If we're totally honest, Jorginho with his bleached blonde hair. Again, he's got the ball in midfield. Chelsea just pinging it around, and then it goes back to Mendy. You have to say that Chelsea have looked in complete control of this second half, restricted us to very, very few opportunities, and had the best opportunities themselves to add to their goal tally. Of course, the best chance was that header from Lukaku, which produced that great save from Bernd Leno, or it would have been 3-0. Mendy then, long clearance, but Arsenal win that header. And now Balogun's got an opportunity, has he, to run at the Chelsea defence. Now he tries to find Aubameyang, but the ball's too short. He looks very raw, Balogun, doesn't he? Didn't get in that game last week at all, and he's struggling to get into this one as well. He's not long been on the pitch. But Chelsea coming forward again. Ziyech into, there's a mistake there from Tavares. Lukaku inside the penalty area. The ball outside him. Is it going to be 3-0? Oh, it's a save actually from Leno from Havertz there. He wasn't able to find the space beyond Bernd Leno. It was pretty straight at him, to be fair. But it was a decent save again from Leno. Again, some mistakes at the back from Arsenal, creating some of our own problems, as we have done in this game quite a lot. That's a long ball there from Xhaka. Was looking for Balogun, but again, it was well defended by Chelsea. They're much too clever for us, aren't they? And DMD again says another save. Saved like that by Leno, keep Ramsdale on the bench. Exactly, and maybe he's needed that bit of pressure, hasn't he, Leno? Because I don't think he's been that good for the last year or so, has he? But he's definitely had a good game today. Made a couple of decent saves. Couldn't really do anything about the goals, and not really played any stupid balls out from the back either. But anyway, Arsenal now in possession with Smith Rowe. I think the late comeback would have to be really late now. We've play. We're in the 88th minute of the 90th. Smith Rowe has just lost out to Jorginho, and Chelsea can maybe launch a counter-attack. They're not in any hurry, not in any rush to score another goal. But Ziyech now coming forward. They've got a man over again. Ziyech tries to go alone. Shot's deflected. It's going to be a corner. I think it was deflected off Lokonga. He may be a better options there, actually. Ziyech there for Chelsea, but he went for the shot and it was deflected. It is going to be a corner to Chelsea. Sorry, Arteta sitting on the bench, looking rather dejected in a kind of tracksuit top, black and white Adidas Arsenal tracksuit, but actually looks a little bit like a Newcastle top that Kevin Keegan used to wear from years ago. But anyway, we don't play anywhere near as exciting football as Newcastle did under Kevin Keegan, do we? Anyway, Timo Werner is going to come on for Chelsea now for their final change of this match. Is it going to be Lukaku coming off? But it won't be till after this corner anyway. Corner into the near post. It's headed away by Balogun. It's going to be another corner to Chelsea. So again, that substitution is going to be delayed a little bit longer, I assume. Probably will be Lukaku going off, I would say. He's had a good game, Lukaku, hasn't he? He's been a constant threat throughout. Did get his goal that he would have been hoping for. The corner again. Leno under pressure, but he does well, actually. Leno gets it away. He's going to be a throw on his near side. And maybe Chelsea now will make that substitution. In fact, it isn't. It's Kai Havertz that's coming off for Timo Werner, actually. I thought it might have been Lukaku, but Lukaku is going to get the full 90 minutes on his debut, his second debut for Chelsea. And it's Kai Havertz who came off, could have maybe scored a short while ago. And it's going to be Timo Werner coming on for his last few minutes for Chelsea, linking up with Lukaku. That's an expensive forward line, isn't it? Yeah, he's just said two there to Lukaku, so they're going two up front for these final few minutes plus stoppage time. Lukaku again holds the ball up really well on the edge of the penalty area. He's done this all game. Plays it out wide to Alonso. Plays across into the box. Again, it's Lukaku with a header. We didn't really deal with it at all. They kept it in Chelsea. Reece James again puts a cross in to the Wolves 6-yard box. It's headed out this time by Mari. Reece James and Tavares having a battle there, which Reece James comes out on top of. Kante plays it to Jorginho. Back to Reece James. Chelsea are forced back slightly. We're now coming into stoppage time at the end of this game. It's going to be a second defeat in a row for Arsenal, probably without a goal either. This will be our worst start for a number of years. Arsenal have got a throw in on this near side, though. There's going to be 3 minutes of stoppage time, that's all. And with the ball back with Bernd Leno. Goes long. Looking for Pepe, but Chelsea easily win the header. And Mari heads it back to Bernd Leno again. I think they're about to give Lukaku man of the match, which isn't a bad shout. I thought Reece James was really good in the first half. Maybe wasn't quite as effective in the second half. Lukaku's had a strong game up there for Chelsea. Held the ball up really, really well. Unlucky not to score another goal. But Arsenal now have maybe a late opportunity. Aubameyang lifts the ball into the box looking for Balogun. But again, the Chelsea defence are far too strong and far too clever. And the ball's gone back to Mendy now. Game being played out in front of a lot of empty seats in that North Bank behind the goal that Arsenal have been attacking in the second half. Well, I say attacking. We haven't done much attacking towards that goal at all. But anyway, Reece James there plays the ball on to Timo Werner. That was his first touch and he lost out to Granit Xhaka. No, to Pablo Mari, sorry. And it has gone out for a throw to Chelsea. As we move into the last 90 seconds of this game, a very, very disappointing performance again from Arsenal. Not a surprisingly poor performance. We just haven't really been good enough in any area of the pitch. Chelsea have been better 1 to 11 pretty much. Smith Rowe had an okay game, not maybe done as well in the second half. Lokonga again has had a half-decent game for Arsenal again as he did last week. Once again, they're the only two bright sparks as they were at Brentford as well. Everybody else just hasn't performed at all well enough. Leno, that good save, maybe give him some credit this week because he came in for a lot of stick last week, didn't he? I thought he was poor in that Brentford game for both the goals, but he's played better today, Bernd Leno. But other than that, Martinelli, before he went off injured, didn't really contribute. Pepe's been, well, I say hot and cold. He hasn't been very hot at all. He's been mainly cold, not really had any impact on this game at all. Saka didn't look match fit, if we're honest, before he went off. Aubameyang came on, worked hard for 10 minutes, and now hasn't had a kick for the last 15. Just really, really poor. Defensively, we've been all over the place. Kante now, are Chelsea going to rub salt into our wounds? Kante, this is a great run into the box. He is held up there by Granit Xhaka, and Arsenal do clear the ball away to Aubameyang. Tried to link up with Balogun, showed his frustration there, Aubameyang, that he didn't get the ball back. And Chelsea are going to probably finish this game in possession as we move. We have now played the 3 minutes of stoppage time. Chelsea do get a free kick. And I think that is going to be that. In fact, it is. The full-time whistle's gone. Not even time for that free kick. As Russ says there, it's all over. Crowd didn't even bother booing. No, not many of them left in the ground by the look of it. Players play with no confidence. Not sure what people think they are waiting to see from Arteta and Arsenal. Long way out of the relegation zone. I mean, it's early in the season, isn't it? Another poor performance. So we're not good enough. We don't have the players. And it's worrying times, isn't it? With Man City to come next week as well. I mean, it doesn't get any easier for Arteta, does it? The problems are mounting up. He's just walking off the pitch there. The players don't look very happy, understandably why. Chelsea players are delighted. The MD says, good match summary though. Fernando, thank you very much for tuning and watching. That's what this is all about. I enjoy doing the show, and it's nice when people like yourself watch it and give good comments. So thanks for tuning in again. Russ says they're 35% possession. Is that all it was? Wow, that is really poor, isn't it? Really, really poor. Russ again says they've tried 3 different players up front today, and none of them has a sniff at goal. That's true. They can't all be shit, so we have to think it's the tactics. Well, yeah, I've always said it's more the tactics than the players. Yeah, we know some of the players aren't good enough, and as Rajendra says there, Balogun isn't good enough. Yeah, we know that. And Orf says there, thank you for watching and your comments as well. Really, really great to have you on board. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and give it a like as well. And everybody else that's watching, if you haven't subscribed, I know most of you guys in the chat have already, which is great. Thank you very much for all your support of the channel. Unfortunately, it's been another disappointing performance and result from Arsenal today, hasn't it? Really poor, actually. Again, Russ says, thanks, Richard. Much love, mate. No, thanks to you, mate, as well for watching and your comments again. Brilliant. Thanks for tuning in. No doubt we'll speak again very, very soon. And it's just a shame we haven't got a little bit more positivity to talk about, really, because it's been another poor performance from Arsenal. We've been outclassed by Chelsea. Let's not beat around the bush here. We have been completely outplayed by the European champions. Should we be surprised by that? Probably not. But let's remember we have spent the most money in the transfer market this summer so far. And these are the performances that we're producing. Really, really, really poor. Regina says there are too many new players to gel together. Yes, there wasn't that many new players playing today, was there? Just Lokonga was the only new player to start, actually. So there's only really one new player today that started. I think it was 2 last week. Obviously, Ben White started as well, didn't he? Obviously, Tavares came on today and played okay, didn't he? Looked a little bit shaky defensively, but certainly looked decent going forward at times, didn't he? Put in some good runs down that left-hand side. So I think he's going to be a useful squad player. But yeah, it's not good enough, is it, overall? We're miles off where we need to be as a club, in terms of challenging teams like Chelsea for a place in that top 4. And this is where we are. Is it the players? Is it the coach? Is it a mixture of both? I'm not 100% sure. But what I do know is we're not improving or progressing under this coach, and possibly his time's up. And if it isn't now, it's certainly going to be very, very soon. I can't see him turning this around. Got to be honest. The club have backed him in the transfer market. but there's no sign of progression, is there? We're not improving. The system doesn't work. The players don't look as though they know what they're doing. Defensively, we're all over the place. Again, last week, Ben White was playing, so we can't blame it on him being missed. We don't have a decent right back. We're not strong enough in midfield, and we don't have a centre forward like Lukaku, do we? Somebody who can hold the ball up, bring other people into play, and is a goal threat. We don't have one. And this is the problem that we've got. Kevin says, cheers, Richard. I like the new setup on the words and upwards. Cheers. No problem. Yeah, let's hope that, we do, things do move upwards. But the only way for us at the minute is upwards, isn't it? Because we can't get any lower, that's for sure. And Regina says we need to be patient and try to look at the positives and ignore the negatives. There aren't too many positives, is there, at the moment? Lokonga, Smith Rowe, today was about it. And Phil says, how you doing, Phil? Thanks for tuning in. He says, could have been worse. Well, it could have been. It could have been a little bit more worse. They could have scored a few more goals. But that was as poor a performance that I've seen from an Arsenal team for a long time, actually. Just lacking ideas, lacking belief, lacking confidence. And all that comes from, for me, that all comes from the manager. And unfortunately, I believe his time is coming to an end. Rajendra says Tierney is left back, not a left winger. No, it's true. He wasn't even much of a left back today, was he? Defensively, both goals came from that area of the pitch. Unfortunately, he was dragged in, sucked in, the space in behind, and that was how we conceded the 2 goals. But anyway, I am about to appear on Scott's channel, The Red Cannon. We're doing a post-match analysis show, so that's going to be fun. So if you guys are around, nip over to The Red Cannon now, because I'm going to be on there very, very shortly, talking about this game in a bit more detail with Scott. That's a fantastic channel, that as well. So if you haven't discovered it yet, please nip over there, because I'll be on it very soon, and give Scott a like and subscribe to his channel as well. If you're enjoying my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I've got some good stuff coming up, actually. I'll be looking back on this game, doing a review video tomorrow. That'll go out. Not many positives to take, but I'll try to find some. And then obviously we'll have our Tuesday show as well, Tuesday evening, get the guys on, get their thoughts about this game as well. Melvin was at the game today, actually, so it'll be interesting to get his perspective as well from inside the stadium. So that's coming up on Tuesday evening. It'll be a bit later because I'm appearing on another show earlier in the evening, so that might be about 8:30. We'll be doing a Tuesday show. There will then be a watch-along call to the West Brom game in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday, and then we'll be building up to the Man City game next Sunday. Hard to be too excited about the game, so stay tuned to the channel, because we'll try and give you some content that you can at least enjoy, even if the games aren't much fun at the moment, unfortunately. So that's that then. It's finished. Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2. 2 goals in the first half. Romelu Lukaku and Reece James. Really, really poor performance from Arsenal. Really not good enough, if we're totally honest. But it's over and done with. We move on to the next game now, Wednesday in the Carabao Cup. I want to try and get through that and progress in the Cups, at least give us something to look forward to for the rest of the season. And then it's that big game on Sunday, difficult game now against Man City. Probably we're heading towards the end of the Arteta era. I think it's worse than it was under Emery, isn't it? The dark days of Emery. This is no better, is it? In fact, I believe it's maybe worse. So we'll see what happens. But stay tuned to the channel and please subscribe. And Regina, their final comment there, he says, the players need to increase their strength and power. They do, yeah. We look weak, don't we? Physically weak, we do. And that's something, again, you've got to look at the coaching side of things as well, haven't you? And what's going on that side of it. So, yeah, really, really disappointing, isn't it? But anyway, that is that for now. Stay tuned to the channel. I'll be back tomorrow with a review show of this game. And then, of course, the Tuesday night show as well. So loads coming up. Please like, share and subscribe. And, of course, in the meantime, as Regina says, come on, you Gunners. See you soon. Exactly. So I say in the meantime, of course, as always, come on, you Gunners. Please try and improve, because this is not great, is it? Let's be honest. Thanks for watching. Speak to you soon.